Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, young and old, come one, come all. Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated podcast in the history of podcasting. For the people in attendance and the millions listening around the world, this is the moment you have all been waiting for. It's the Off Track FMX podcast. We are live. Introducing first, broadcasting out of the red corner, hailing from Seattle, Washington, standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, with what's described as a PBR dad bod. It's Jeff Shanae, also known as SMP Jeff, also known as Sister, also known as The Sister, also known as Sister. Next up, coming out of the blue corner, he hails from Renton, Washington, standing 5 feet 10 inches tall and weighing in at 200 pounds. He's the number 153 on the track and number 1 in your hearts. It's none other than Greg Crater, known around the world as See Ya Later Crater, and sometimes known as the Gregosaurus. If you want to get a hold of us, go to our website at www.offtrackfmxpodcast.com or send us an email at offtrackfmxpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on all the usual social media spots at Off Track FMX Podcast. And now, this is truly the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time! Strap in and get ready for 2 hours of podcasting gold!
Welcome to another Monday night Off Track FMX podcast on Wednesday later in the day. Podcasting partner Greg Crater. How you doing, Greg?
Doing well. Finally,
nice.
No longer hungry here, so that helped. This should be a better podcast than the last one.
Yeah,
for me.
And there's no feedback yet.
Right.
Anyways, let me get into our guest. Our guest this week is a Southern California FMX legend spot, Manny. Manny, how's it going?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Not too bad. Up in here in Seattle, where we're locked down and
well, he's locked down
on
too.
restriction, in trouble, and not allowed to go anywhere.
Oh man, that's pretty bad.
I think our governors must be friends.
Yeah, you guys are.
Yeah, no doubt. We're getting pretty bad down here too. We're not fully locked down. There's places that are getting shut down now. Like it's getting worse and worse and worse. But like, I'm thankful I'm able to work right now and keep working. So,
that's good.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks like it's going to be getting a little bit worse here, shut down wise.
As you should be able to do in life. Go to work, do kind of what you will, exactly. What you wish. That's why we live in the United States of America, I feel.
I thought.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So Greg doesn't really know. Before we get into too much of your life and career, Greg had a little bit of an interesting weekend, and I did send Manny the video footage to talk about, see what his take was it on. So my co-host here Friday night had some rather strange people show up to his house at like 10:15 on the ring cam.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that, Manny? What do you think was going on? I'm still so baffled by the whole. Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. That's pretty weird. I'd be tripped out too. Like just people just rolling up in your driveway and going, "Hey, man, this is the end of the world shit." And I'm like,
right.
Oh,
and he was howling. He was howling in the beginning too. Like what was going on?
Howling at the moon, like
yeah,
Ozzy Osbourne, right? Neither one of the howls.
Yeah. You people have to look up Greg Crater's Facebook or Instagram and check this video out. It's
just on Facebook. I don't think I put it on Instagram.
All right, well, Facebook. It is. It's an interesting, odd.
Greg, it's still a debate though. Like some people really think that they were like upset, and other people think 100% they were like pumped on it. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm very in the middle. I don't know.
True.
I was under the impression, it was 10:15, but I thought they were lost looking for a party. And I mean, maybe they were already kind of on one, possibly, like they're looking for a party, they're out, but whatever. But yeah, a lot of people thought they were mad at your house. You have some cool lights on your house, and your house was looking kind of patriotic, red, white, and blue. And
it was Veterans Day. Come on.
Yeah, it was Veterans Day. Yeah. And a lot of people thought these people were like angry at your house and coming back to attack you and your family.
Right. Well, I'm not. I wasn't overly concerned about that.
Yeah. No,
I'm very well prepared as long as I'm home, but I wasn't even home when it happened. So
yeah. You didn't get to have a talk with these gentlemen.
I didn't get to chat with them. To find
unfortunately.
Out what was going on.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping they'd come back.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Roll them up.
They haven't been back so far, though.
They have not been back that I'm aware of.
That's good news. Haven't been captured on the ring cam anymore.
No.
Nice. Technology.
Your house does look great, though.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So, cool deal. Well, let's jump into your history. What obviously you grew up in Southern California. What got you into dirt bikes? What age were you? How'd you get into the sport?
My dad, he got me riding 3-wheelers when I was like 2 or 3 years old out of ATC 70.
Yes.
And so we back. I was born in Mission Viejo. We didn't move to Elsinore to the yard until like 87 or 88.
Okay.
But so we would go out. He would take us out to Glamis, and I'd go ride 3-wheelers, and he had a sandrail and an Odyssey and stuff like that. So we'd go out and do that. And I always loved bicycles and rode bicycles when I was young. And when I was about 6 years old, like after we moved to the yard, we're at in Paris. There's places called Raceway Honda. And I seen this Z50, and I was like, Dad, I need that thing.
I need that.
Yeah, so he ended up buying that for me, and then from there on, just 2 wheels. I loved the 2 wheels and rode that. And
you said you were 6?
On that.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, I was 6 years old. Yeah.
Nice. What year were you born in?
83.
83.
Yeah, that's a good year. Solid. I like it.
Terrible year, apparently. No offense, Manny. Kidding. Nice. So you're 6 years old. You see the Honda 50 and just drooling. Were you into BMX at all before that, or skateboarding or anything? Yeah.
I just rode. I didn't like race BMX or anything like that. I just had like little dirt jumps and stuff, and
hit some jumps on the pushy.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I understand the lingo. And, that's what Dan Kennard said. I'm like, I didn't understand what a pushy was. I'm like, Greg had to explain to me that apparently it's just a regular BMX bike.
Yeah, pushy, just push bike in Australia. Europe in general, they call it, or England, I guess, too, they call them push bikes. That's the reason I knew that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I would ride bicycles, and, like, me and my, a couple of my buddies, we'd build, like, little, ramps out of just scrap wood. I got my first ramp, actually, it was, I was in one of our family friends' house, the Gutierrez's, and they had this skateboard quarter pipe, and I was looking at it, I was like, man, that thing's cool. And they ended up giving it to me, and at first I would just kind of jump off the side of it and land the flat, and then finally I would just hit the thing just straight on the flat. It would just land the flat, and then my dad was like, "Hey,
what were you riding at this point? What were you hitting it on?
BMX.
BMX, yeah.
BMX bike.
So absolutely zero suspension, just sending it into the flats.
Yeah, on like it was like a.
I've heard that's good on your ankles, knees, lower back. Heard it's really good.
Lucky with the
Yeah. Nice. Well, how tall was the quarter pipe?
Oh, it's probably about 3 foot tall.
Yeah, 4 foot or something. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah,
I can picture it.
So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%.
High enough to hurt me today.
Yeah, I'm not hitting that thing today. No way.
Me neither.
Yeah, amen.
Definitely not the flat.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't need any timing involved either in whatever jump this is, please.
Yeah, he's looking for 1 foot on top of a hill
tabletop.
He can just go down the hill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh boy. So
but
so 6 years old, you get the 50.
Yeah, 6 years old, got the 50. Rode that for a while.
Where were you riding that at?
Mainly at the yard. I would ride at the yard, and then after a while, one of my dad's buddies, the Wildies, actually, Bobby Wildy, they got us to go out. There used to be a pretty cool riding spot off of Highway 74 there in Elsinore. It's apartments now, but we go out there about every weekend and go ride out there. When my buddy had a RM80, and so that's I kind of learned how to ride a clutch and a real dirt bike out there on their bike, and just kind of I didn't really get into it too much until I was about 13. I through the years I rode my buddy Bobby's bikes, and then my other friend Sean Kerr, he let me ride his. He had an RM100, 79 RM100, which is pretty badass.
Yeah.
So we would actually go. There used to be a really bitchin' spot right up the road from the yard, Cottonwood Canyon. It was on some of the older videos, like Still Roots and stuff. There's some big road jumps out there. And we go right out there a lot. And like his dad would take us out there, and he'd sit under the tree. And at that point, I was just, I think my Z50 was broke. There was a minute to where there's like a little mechanism for the shifter that busted on the inside, but we didn't really know nothing about it until later. But so I was riding my sister's Honda Odyssey, so my buddies were pumped to ride the Odyssey, and I was pumped to ride their bike. And so we'd switch off and go up there and ride there too quite a bit. And eventually, like when I was 13, my dad bought me a 89 YZ125. And then from there, I rode every day. I would get home from school, empty out my backpack, throw a big old thing of water or Gatorade in there, gear up, and go head up into the hills and just ride until dark. And
nice.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Yeah.
What year? So in '98, was that bike brand new, or was it years old? What was the math on that?
It was actually 89
or 89.
89.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. I swapped the numbers.
Yeah, this was probably about 96-ish. So it was like 6-7 years old. That bike was at that point.
Yeah, nice.
So I rode that like a couple years, about a couple years, and then Thanksgiving of 97 or somewhere around 97 Thanksgiving. My dad went to Chaparral. I actually wanted at that time they were selling like their race bikes or whatnot.
Okay.
And I really wanted Brian Deegan's 96 CR125. That's what I wanted. I want this bike. And so the sales guy, he actually talked them into buying me a brand new YZ125 instead. So that's what I got, and started riding that thing.
Still an amazing
awesome.
bike.
Yeah.
In your early days, before you even rode up, you're 13, whatever, were you doing anything else, playing any baseball, football, growing up?
Yeah. The first sports I played was I played t-ball and soccer, and then my dad was big into baseball. He loved baseball.
Yeah.
But I sucked at it. But I played soccer until I was like third grade. I played baseball until I was like I think fifth grade, sixth grade, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And then the sport that I really liked was basketball. I got into basketball about third grade, and I played until the end of middle school. And then that's when I really got into racing dirt bikes and riding a lot. I kind of gave up the regular sports.
Yeah, fell in love with two wheels and went from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nice. So yeah, let's talk about that. What was the early days of riding? Where were you racing, or what class were you riding back then? What tracks were you hitting up? Who were you racing with?
So when I started racing, like we didn't really know nothing, so we just kind of went out on the track. It's kind of funny. Like my first race, we parked next to ended up parking next to Tommy Clowers, and I was like so pumped. I was like, "Oh man, there's Tommy Clowers!" Because I seen him on Krusty and stuff like that. I was racing 125 beginner because I just got into racing kind of.
Yep.
And so I was trying to be cool and like start conversation with him. I was like, "Yeah, hey, how's it going? Hey, where do I go sign up at?" And then he was like, "Oh, if you don't know that, then you shouldn't be around here."
Oh, what a dick!
So, yeah.
Fucking Tommy. Jesus.
Yeah. So, I rode 125 beginner. That was like my first race.
So no thanks to Tommy, but you did get signed up for this race, correct? I mean,
yeah, no, I ended up getting signed up. I forgot what I got. I didn't win or nothing like that.
Yeah. It was early stage 125 beginner class. It's a wild class out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd race, that was at Paris Raceway. So I would go out and I would race at Paris Raceway. I was actually gearing up. My first race I wanted to do was the Elsinore Grand Prix, which I think the GFI won when they first brought it back in '96. So I raced like another like a smaller like a Grand Prix at Glen Helen. I raced that. Raced the Grand Prix, and then from there I would just kind of race, Southern California. I never really got too crazy in the racing or whatnot. I always like to, I was like, kind of like Colin Morrison, how he said he'd just, be kind of racing and want to do the jumps and do tricks, and that's kind of what I did. And
just always looking for the big jump on the track, and
yeah, doing hill clickers and stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. So traveling around just the California area racing?
Yeah, I just did California races mainly. That was it. Just here in Southern California. I always kind of, me and my mom, we wanted to make it out to like Loretta Lynn and stuff like that, but we never made it.
It's an expensive sport. It's an expensive sport.
Yeah, it's expensive, and yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just mainly stayed around Southern California and raced, and then
which is a mecca of motorcycles. I mean, it's kind of, especially back then. I mean, you guys had endless places to ride. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is a place to be for sure.
Yeah, I've spent a fair amount of time in the Southern California area. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah, we both live and grew up in Seattle.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's where we're at, the Seattle area. Speaking of,
nice.
I think one of my buddies, Cape, spent a lot of time some time down at your house. This is way later.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, he was super cool. Bummer, he passed on.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a good dude. I was like riding with him. He was super nice, and he'd come down and he'd hit the big jump and get a heart attack over it, stuff like that. Yeah. He wasn't at all.
No. I got to see a lot of it early, and yeah, we talked to him just like 4 weeks before he passed away. We did an interview, and yeah, sad.
Oh man.
Yep. But yeah, so anyways, let's go back. We're still early. You're what age were you at this point when you were racing and kind of just starting the freestyle thing? What year was that? 15. So
96. 96, somewhere
so 96.
in
there. So yeah, realistically, freestyle hasn't even really started. Like, right. They hadn't had any contests yet or anything. Like,
no, it's just the only contest that I knew of really, like, at that point was like on Terra Firma 2. They had that one deal in like Europe or whatever where it was like that Surge guided guy, McGrath and Metzger.
Okay.
And I think that Surge guided guy, he won with Candy Bar, and then Metz got like second with the hill clicker, and McGrath got third, and with the
Knack
Superman or something like that. Yeah, Knack. Yeah,
guy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he did do Superman. That's right. I did forget about that too. You always think of him as Knack guy, but he did love the Superman.
Yeah.
He wasn't scared to throw a good Superman.
The Super Mac.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would always, watch like the old Krusty and then Terraformer 2 and the Metzger doing hill clickers and cans and stuff like that. So I was just like, man, I need to learn how to do that. So I ended up teaching myself how to do that stuff. And I just posted last night a picture of when I was down at Chaparral looking at the bikes. There was a catalog, a Chaparral catalog, and it was Deegan, and he was doing like a suicide no-hander. And I was like, man, I need to learn how to do that too, and learn how to do that.
Yeah, man. So,
and then,
Greg, what are you doing?
I'm looking up his post.
Oh, let's see it.
I'm looking right now.
Let's see it. Why am I lost here? We are, Creator, help me out here. My brain cells are struggling.
96.
96. There we go. I know my question I was going to ask.
Suicide no-hander.
Do you remember? I have all of them still in a drawer out there, but I can't. What year did like the first Krusty come out? Because 90, like I said,
that was like 95, 94, 95, I believe.
Okay, so you'd been kind of watching those for like a year, just being like, those are the things I need to do or want to do.
Yeah.
And did you say at this point you were at the yard? You had that property?
Yeah, we moved to the yard in 87.
Okay. Man.
Yeah.
1994. Krusty Demon's Dirt came out.
94. I was wondering what those hand signals were. Scared there were gang signs.
He thought I was just autistic for a second.
Yeah. Very fearful. Yeah, so those were early. I think of what year was this? Like the Free Air 98 was when it came to Tacoma, kinda. I think that's when I really fell in love with it or whatever, when those contests started. And
yeah, those 4-leaf events were badass. They had really cool courses and stuff like that. And I wish I could have went to those, but at that point, when I was 14, like in 98, I broke my neck real bad. I broke compressed and displaced my C2 in my neck.
Oh Jesus!
And so I was kind of out right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of out.
Yeah. What happened? How did you do this?
So I rode all day. I had this step up in the back. And I rode all day on my dirt bike, but I was hitting the jump on. I had a good line going up one side of it, and so the lip was kind of like it was different on each side. So there's some people up there on some quads, right, on some 4-wheelers. I had hit that jump on my dad. He had like a 87 350 Warrior, like an old 4-stroke, the stock thing.
Jesus.
And I'd hit it before on that thing. It was like 4th gear wide open.
Fucking Mad
so
Max bike.
I got done. Yeah, I got done riding, and I was geared down and everything. I was in my shorts, t-shirt, tennis shoes, and these guys were like talking shit, almost like, "Oh yeah, the 4-wheeler guy." Da, da, da.
Oh,
I was like, "Oh yeah, well, check this out." So I threw my helmet on. That's all I threw on was my helmet. I wasn't wearing gloves, no boots, no nothing.
Boy.
Shorts, t-shirt,
I ain't no
tennis
punk
shoes.
bitch. Watch this.
Yeah, the old watch.
Yeah. So I go grab the quad and I come up to it and I come hit it 4th gear wide open on the quad, and then as soon as I took off, the thing just like the left side dropped. So it was like fully like fuck.
You're on a couch. I mean, it's gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah. So that's all I kind of remember. I just remember the things like fucked, and I knew I was fucked, and everything got like real.
That's
bright.
a horrible memory.
Right.
Yeah.
Terrible memory.
So next thing I knew, I was on the ground. I was sitting Indian style. I don't know how I got that way, but I was sitting Indian style on the ground at the bottom of the jump.
Is that allowed anymore?
I'm super triggered.
Triggered.
Yeah. We got to end this interview. What do they call it now? Can you chat crisscross applesauce?
I don't know.
I swear to God, I think that's what they call it.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, fortunately, I'm part Indian, so if anybody has a problem,
there you go.
it's part of my heritage.
There you go.
Yeah, so I look over and I see the quad. It was weeded, and I'm like, "Fuck, my dad's gonna kick my ass." Like,
Oh, yeah.
His bike's fucked up, and then I look down at my arm. My arm was broken. My arm was swollen and broken. I'm like, "Man, I broke my arm." And then I pick my head up and like start trying to look around, and my neck was like super stiff. And I'm like, "What the fuck's going on here?" I'm like trying to move it around, and so finally, one of my brother-in-law's friends, one of my good friends too, his name's Ike Garcia. He comes hauling ass down the hill and like freaking jumps off the bike and says, "Little buddy, what are you doing? What happened?" I'm like, "Man, you guys need to get me down to the house." So they went down to go get a truck to get me, and I got up and I walked down a little bit, and then I got in the truck, went down to the house, and when I got out of the truck and started walking into the house, I felt my neck like crunching. Like when I'd walk, it was odd. It was like all like weird. So I went in, and my mistake is I went in and I laid down on the floor. As soon as I laid down on the floor and took like all the pressure off of it, my neck, it totally freaking hurt. Like I could not move. Like I wasn't like paralyzed or anything, but it hurt so bad to move my neck that I couldn't get up or anything. So they called the ambulance up, and I'm like, "Yeah, dude, I broke my neck." And they're like, "Oh yeah, right, dude, you didn't break your neck. You're being basically like, yeah, you're being a fucking pussy."
Yeah.
And they're like rolling me over. I'm like, "Dude," and they're checking my back.
Fucking
like,
leave me alone.
Yeah, right?
It's not my back, dude. It's my neck. My neck hurts. And they're like, "Oh yeah, right, dude. If you broke your neck, this and that and other." I'm like, "Dude, it's fucking broken." So
Just
they get me in the ambulance. I go down. I get to the hospital, and the doctor's like, "Oh yeah, you didn't break your neck. We'll throw you through the scan thing." So I get through the scan.
It's like, holy shit, you broke your neck.
Yeah, the doctor comes out, and he had to kind of eat crow. He's like, he didn't know how to tell me. He's like, "You know what? You're right, dude. Like you broke your neck. You broke the same one that Christopher Reeves just broke, and he's paralyzed. And
holy shit,
don't fucking move."
Yeah.
I said, "Okay."
If you could stay really still at this point, that'd be fucking great.
Yeah, so they freaking taped my head I was still on the freaking board, and they taped my head down to the board so I couldn't move.
Yeah.
And they airlifted me from Temecula out to
how
Riverside.
Scary was that? Hearing those words and being like, "Oh, right. Dude, I literally can't move." Like, I know they're saying not to move, but like, oh god, that had to be scary.
Yeah, so I was on that board, like a hard ass board taped down to it from like freaking like 4 o'clock in the afternoon till like 3 o'clock in the morning. And I was I remember being so thirsty and stuff, and they wouldn't give me no water or anything because they didn't know if they were going to throw me in through surgery or anything like that. So I ended up getting into the bed. They threw me in the bed, and I got to sleep. And like literally like a couple hours later, I got woken up to a big razor on the side of my head, and they're picking the side of my head, and I'm like, "All right, we got some Novocaine right here. We're gonna numb these 4 areas on your head, but it's not gonna really do anything because there's no really muscle or anything there. We're just gonna numb your skin. It's like the same shit the dentist has, but we gotta self tap these 4 bolts in your head." So I ended up in a halo. They put the bolts in and the halo, and I was in traction. Like they hooked me up to the traction thing with the weights for like a week, and
I'd be like, "Do you guys know Michael Jackson? Do you know what propofol is? Put me to sleep, motherfucker. Quit numbing me up. I want to go night night. Don't drill into my head when I'm awake."
They were giving me Demerol and all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
So like so I was kind of, that Demerol pretty much knocked me out. Like after they put that thing on there, they shoot me up with that shit, and
it can be amazing how much you don't give a fuck about shit when they get drugs in you, and you know, like you're just like, "Oh, weird." Yeah, you're like, "Okay, we'll do whatever."
Yeah,
like,
do whatever you need me to do.
We're good.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Okay.
Yeah. Ugh, it is weird.
Just give me that needle back. I feel better now.
For sure.
That's crazy.
And then while I was in there, they gave me like too much pain meds at one point, and I got really sick. Like I was throwing up and stuff. So that actually kind of saved me in a lot of ways, because I think if that didn't happen, I probably would have got hooked on the pills and shit, because there was a lot of years, like, I even went through a lot of other, like I broke my jaw and other things, but I didn't take no pain pills or anything like that because I thought I was allergic. Because, like, when I got out of the hospital, like, too, I was having bad withdrawals from the Demerol. I didn't know that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was getting these sweats, and I was, like, sick, and I was like, dude, I was making my mom take me to the hospital. I was like, take me down there, I need Demerol. And, yeah, so
that was
through
Jeff's
that.
problem. He only got sick when they didn't give him enough.
The reason you didn't take pills is because I literally took them all. Unfortunately, I did go down that road. It was terrible. I wish, I don't wish it upon anybody.
Yeah, it's, what I went through getting out of the hospital and having the withdrawals and stuff, like, I'm glad that, you know, I kind of didn't know what it was or whatnot, and I thought I was allergic to that shit, because otherwise I probably would have been pretty fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's too easy. That's the problem.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
That's crazy.
So
that's at 14?
Yeah, that was at 14. Had the Halo on. I had that on for 8 months.
So you're 14. You're like in middle school. Are you in high school?
Yeah, 14? I was in 8th grade.
Yeah. So you're walking around 8th grade. Are you walking around in 8th grade with a Halo on?
Well, it was at the end of my 8th grade year, so
right.
Yeah, they wouldn't actually let me go to school with it on because they're afraid of kids grabbing it and yanking me around and
That's
stuff.
what I'm worried about. Because I know I went to school with like stupid, like a broken collarbone and like stupid stuff. And kids constantly were like, whoa, and just.
I had a bad face. I had a bad face injury where I had a lot of stitches in my face, and I went back.
Explains a lot.
I went back to school, and they literally, like, after that day, they called my parents and said, "Please don't have your son. Your son's scaring the children." Like,
and it was a different. They called when he was about 30 and said the same thing, but this was different.
Yeah, it was brutal. I'm like, what? It was what it was. I had stitches in my mouth. What do you want me to do? Like, I mean.
It was Joker before we knew about
it. Dude, I got some good photos of this injury. Ugh. Yeah, that sucks, dude. That's young. Gnarly. That's young to have a Halo. I mean, that's a huge neck injury. I mean, that's
crazy. Probably honestly good that you were only 14.
Yeah.
It was.
You healed well and.
Yeah, I healed up pretty good.
And mentally, you didn't understand
when they set my neck. Yeah, when they set my neck's not like totally right. Like it's like usually your neck has like a curve in the spine or whatever, and mine's straight now. But so Halo had to go in every 2 weeks to get the bolts torqued down,
tightened up a little.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah,
man, I know people that have Halos. I've never heard about any of this stuff.
Yeah, get the torque wrench out. We're gonna put these in.
Yeah, how many foot-pounds do they use?
No, for real.
Yeah.
It was gnarly.
Click. You're like, shit.
No, for real. You could feel that. It's the oddest feeling. You could feel that click inside like your head because the bolts are in your head. So it's just like clunk, so clunk. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, no thanks.
Yeah, it wasn't too fun.
Wow. That's gnarly.
But that's what I ended up building that summer into fall. Me and my cousin Robert Von Bargen and our friend Jeff Offit and our other buddy Brian Pinard and a few other people. We started. I had a few small jumps there at the yard, but we built like a full-on supercross track. It was badass.
Oh, nice.
And
my partner here raced supercross for 32 years as a fucking struggling
32 years.
Nice.
Struggling privateer. Yeah.
Oh,
nice.
Man.
You had a supercross. That's cool. You had a full-on supercross track at the yard at the house.
What year was that?
Yeah, I was going to say at a fairly young age too, probably still because we're still early.
Yeah, that was about 98 too. That was the end of 98 and or 97 actually. I'm sorry. That was the end of 97. And end of 97. We built it. Somehow, I think it was my cousin. He talked to somebody and we ended up getting McGrath out there, McGrath Road.
Wow.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. I didn't get to ride with him though at that point because I was still hurt, but it was cool to watch but watching him ride the track, that was pretty rad.
I have a question too. So before this, 14-year-old massive neck injury, you didn't, like the majority of us have any like broken wrist, broken arm, like broken toe, or was it just straight into a snap neck into the emergency room, life flighted?
I went full bore and broke my neck and my arm.
Damn.
And
straight up going for it. Not scared.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, which had to be even more terrifying. Just not, like at least you work your way into the bigger injuries. I felt. Bone. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Yeah. So
6 to 8 inch pounds of tightness for the Halo bolt.
Yeah.
I got a 6 to 8 inch.
6 to 8 inch pounds.
Just kidding. I'm no Johnny.
Yeah. As 10-inch pounds will begin to pass through the outer table.
Oh, you don't want to pass the outer table?
Don't want to pass the outer table. Sorry, I find this stuff very fascinating, and it's never occurred to me to know what that would do, but yeah, 6 to 8 inch pounds of tightness for the Halo bolts in your skull. That is super sketchy.
Yeah, I want a steady. I don't want the NASCAR pit crew doing this. I want a steady-handed doctor like tightening the bolts in my head. I feel like Frankenstein.
Yeah, there was a special place I had to go to. It was called Nova Care. It was out there in Riverside. I had to go every 2 weeks.
Hopefully you guys have some laser technology. We can make sure you're not fucking cross-threading this motherfucker.
No doubt.
God.
14 years old, enjoying it. You're like, I just want to go to school. I don't want to be the coat rack there. Kids hanging their clothes off your rack.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll have to post a picture of my Halo and bolts and stuff later on today. I'll post
for sure. Yeah, appreciate it. I need to actually work on our Instagram, Facebook, all that. I suck, but yes, I'd appreciate that. If
I suck at it too. I just got on the Instagram not too long ago, and I still haven't really figured it fully out.
Yeah. Hey,
we hear that.
Trying.
Yep, exactly. Good for you. Yeah. The world's changed, not like it used to be.
Oh yeah,
newfangled equipment and modern technology blows my mind.
Yeah, a lot different from back in the day for sure.
Now they probably have self-adjusting head screws. You probably don't even have to go into technology. They're like, we'll just twist these bolts 2 millimeters every 2 weeks and set it good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh,
I think they loosen up that bit, like depends on what you're doing or whatnot. Because I did have one time I had to go in early. My cousin, her husband was going into the service, so we went to like the family fun center place, and I don't even know how they even let me on, but the go-karts or whatever.
Jesus,
so
we're driving a go-kart with a Halo.
Yeah,
there's got to be some liability on their part. Right? I feel.
No. You're just going to take it easy, right? Yeah, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So, go on in.
You're good.
Oh, you should have seen the look on their faces. Like, I was coming around, and like one lap I came around, and I was beating and banging with this dude, and I banged him real hard, and the look on the
Who's
dude's
in charge
face,
of the
like
facility?
I was controlling this shit.
Oh my God.
He looked pretty bummed. But that ended up loosening my bolts up. I had to go get them reforged.
As it should, yeah. Right. I mean, realistically.
Oh my goodness. So real quick, I want to interject with a go-kart story.
Okay.
So
I love a good go-kart story.
It was after the Daytona Supercross. I'm going to say about this must have been 06 or 07.
I was at a Daytona Supercross with you. I think I was there in 07 with you.
So I think
had to be 05 then, because I don't remember. I wasn't there for this story.
So myself and some Canadian racers, Ryan Lockhart,
Jason Fournette,
Brady Sharon, and some mechanics and others were involved here.
Lockhart's a savage.
So we go to the local wing house or whatever they are down there, because they're not Hooters, it's something else.
Yeah, it's Wing House. Johnny worked there. I dated. Yeah, okay. There was a chick that drove from Florida to Seattle for me.
I remember her too. Yeah.
So, I was not nice enough to go travel back there and help her make the trip across the country.
I'm not exactly a big drinker at this point in my life.
Yeah, you're still focused on racing.
I was a racer.
Fucking Supercross guy.
I thought I was going to be anyway.
Yeah.
But the Canadians drank heavily.
Yeah, they like to party. Shocking.
Yeah, so I think
tell us something we don't know.
I think that Lockhart probably had 2 pitchers by himself,
as he should,
at least.
Canadian.
So we're done. We eat our wings and we bail. So we're just walking down.
He had some kokanee.
Daytona Boulevard or whatever the main drag is there. Daytona Beach Speedway. I don't know what the hell it's called. But we end up at this go-kart place that's like, first of all, it's got this big corkscrew that goes way up in the air.
Oh, like a parking garage thing?
No,
but
it's on the go-kart track.
Yes.
So
picturing it.
Yeah, so really sketchy. It's literally like the boardwalk.
SeaTac Airport, but it's a go-kart track.
Yeah, but it's like boardwalk boards going up this thing.
Oh dear.
So it's kind of rough and bumpy and whatever, right? See, we get kicked out of that one. Nothing too spectacular.
And you're
happens.
drunk driving.
Yeah. Everybody should.
Yeah.
So
I don't recommend.
So then we drive. They're in a motorhome, like a fun mover. And I don't know what I was in or who. Maybe I was
strange brew. It sounds
I don't know.
like.
So we drive down the road to this other go-kart place. It's like a family fun center, though.
Okay.
And so it's pretty empty, but we go in there and there's a few kids and parents and some stuff. And we get there's nobody in the go-kart line. We go right to the go-kart line. I don't know who it was, but there was a Canadian standing in the line waiting to get in that just obviously had to piss real bad.
Oh dear.
So he's just like whipped out, peeing in a bush, kind of, but not really hidden very well. And there's kids and moms,
women and children. Yeah.
Terrible, right?
Man.
Yeah.
So we get on the go-karts, and mayhem erupts. And,
ensues.
Well, I mean, we're all running into each other. We're
how old were you at this point? 07, you said so, or 06, you said.
I'm probably like 20.
Yeah, young and dumb. I mean,
20 couple, 24-ish, 23. I don't know. So, but we're ramming each other. People are spun around backward. Well, then guys are going backward because they spun around backward, so they just take off going the wrong way.
They don't have. They're going opposite way on the track. Yeah. That's not.
Yeah, not driving.
I'm like, they don't have reverse. They don't. No.
Don't have reverse. So they're driving the wrong way. Eventually, there's a head-on.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
then it turns into he's black flagging us and you're out of here. Well,
hopefully the guy didn't have a cage on his head.
So everybody's just going around. Everybody just keeps going. Well, he had a shutdown button, but it only worked on the front straightaway. So at some point, we figured out that if you were going fast enough when you came around, it would just coast
through the shutdown zone?
And it would restart and burn, you take off again. So
this guy hated you guys.
Dude, they end up calling the cops. And
as they should.
We jump out of the carts.
A bunch of drunk Canadians and a stupid American.
There was a couple of us. I think Philly Knott was there. There was a couple other Americans. But we jump out of the carts on the track because it's cops are coming.
Yeah.
And so the carts are just all over the track. We jump out, we jump the fence, we go to the parking lot, we take off.
Yeah.
But it was just it was mayhem. But none of us had halos on our heads.
Go-karts can be mayhem, but when you're 14 and you have a halo on and you're smashing people, you're even more of a savage.
Reminded me of a go-kart story. Sorry.
Yeah. Hey, we're never mad about interrupting.
Daytona Beach. It's a good time. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, I've been. You ever been to Florida, Manny?
No, you know what? Unfortunately, I haven't. But I think the farthest east I made it was Tennessee.
There you go. I've never been to Tennessee, but I do recommend Florida.
For Loretta Lynn's or what?
No, actually, I went there. It was actually this was in '01. I just I had a bike failure and I busted my shoulder, so I was out helping Jeff from Freeride Technology set up the event. So it was It was an LXD X Games qualifier.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
It was actually the first event that Chris Rourke did the Rock Solid.
Awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I was thinking we were maybe jumping a little bit, but we actually might be, maybe we're a little...
we're jumping a little ahead.
Jump back a little bit.
Sorry, we'll get back to Manny now. Y'all.
Well, we do go off track. It's kind of
That's why it's called off track.
It happens, but we try to keep it somewhat in chronological order. But stories erupt and it's pandemonium on this show, really.
Happens,
so
it's pandemonium.
But okay. So let's jump back a little bit. We are. Where are we at? We're
97 Supercross track.
We got So you're coming off the cage. You got a full-on Supercross track. Did you have hopes and dreams and aspirations of racing Supercross?
Yeah, I did. When there wasn't really any freestyle motocross going on, that's what I wanted to do. I had a dream at one point when I was younger, that I had this jump in the middle of the yard. It was just this little jump, and I'd always do my little tricks off or whatever. And it was like me doing the jump and people holding up, the 9 or the 10 or whatever sign. So I was like, this won't ever, happen. So just keep racing. So I kept racing, and then finally all the 4-leaf events started happening and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, and I was still racing, and I just got a thing in my head. I was like, man, I need to get a 250 and so I can hit the bigger jump. So I was, at that point I was 15, and the 99 YZ250s had just come out, and this was like the end of 98 or something like that. And I talked to my sister Krista, my oldest sister. I was like, hey, you know, I'm going to get a job. I have money saved up. Can you go down and finance this bike for me? It's 0 down, 0 payments for
help a brother out.
And,
Literally. Help a brother out. Yeah.
So she went down and financed the bike for me.
That's cool.
And it was pretty bitching. I got the YZ250, and then I started, you know, telling my sponsors, I think, you know, I want to do freestyle motocross. And they're like, yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, bullshit.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Why?
So, I got to the point to where I was like, that's really, I wasn't racing much, and I just, you know, wanted to jump, and I seen all these events happening, and I was like, man. So I ended up turning some of the jumps on the Supercross track. I pitched some of them together into like some big jumps, and that was the start of the freestyle moto part of the yard.
Manny's yard.
And it all went from there. Just kind of got lined up with the right people. Mike Metzger, he was, you know, he helped me out a lot. He was the guy that basically when I was in school, before I even broke my neck, the way I met him is I found me and my buddies, we found his name in the phone book of all places.
I love that.
So we would call his number, and they'd always go to his answering machine because he was always traveling, racing and stuff. And he'd be like, "Yeah, this is Mike Becker." We'd be like, "Oh shit, fucking right on!" And, like, just call to listen to his message. And then finally one day, one of my buddies, his name was Daryl Spears. He actually left a message, like acting like he was me. He's like, "Yeah, hey, my name's Manny. I got tractors and property, and
I live in Southern California." Yeah.
And come on out and let's build some shit. And so he ended up calling.
And it wasn't even you. It was just your buddy leaving a message as you.
Yeah, and he left my number, and then I get this phone call from Mike Metzger. Like,
oh my god!
Months later, my mom comes running out of the house. She's like, "Hey, it's Mike Metzger on the phone." I'm like, "What?"
Oh
so
my
I
god!
get on the phone, and
Mike Metzger calls,
and
Manny's mom answers. Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Mrs. Manny. Is Manny home? Can I talk to? He says he has land and tractors. I want to build some dirt bike jumps.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. And
I love that. There's a similar story that I've heard on like the Pulp MX show about there was a guy, I can't remember. I know he has a parking lot sweeping company now, but he was a famous. I want to say Damon Bradshaw, but I know it's not Damon Bradshaw. But someone, you know, a famous racer like this guy idolized, and like he realized, you know, after his career.
Now that guy sweeps his parking lot.
Well, he found out he had like whatever, Bradshaw sweeping service or whatever. And he called, and he's like, and whoever answered, he's in the sweeper, like, and the guy's just reminiscing about old races and shit, like just loving life, talking to his idol.
That's funny.
I'm glad. Yeah. Looking it up in the phone book just reminded me of that. That's crazy. It was the times back then though. Like there wasn't any you couldn't, shit wasn't accessible. Like it was phone booths and yellow pages.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure. There's no social media, no nothing. It was just like
it was a much better time.
You had to put in some work.
Yeah, for sure.
Can we go back?
So he called from Troy, Ohio. He was at a national, and then
holy shit!
Ever since then, we've been friends. You know,
how crazy was that? How pumped were you to get that phone call, man?
When your mom came run out of the house,
dude,
going,
I was so pumped.
For sure, yeah. Like a kid at Christmas. You're like, who's on the Mike fucking Metzger? Are you shitting me, Mom? Like,
yeah. Which one of my buddies is fucking with
the guy on that VHS tape I watched an hour ago? Like, he's on the telephone.
Well, here's another cool phone story, I guess you'd call it. But when I had my broken neck, my sister, it's her ex-boyfriend now or whatever, he was down at Star West, but he seen Jeff Emick, and he was like, hey, this kid, he broke his neck. Can you call him up and lift his spirits up or whatnot?
Oh, wow.
So I get this call from Jeff Emick. Of all people, Jeff Emick, he's a badass. Like, called me up and he's like, hey,
savage,
come on out to Star West and hang out. So I ended up getting to go out to Star West and hanging out with it was Jeff Emick and Ryan Hughes. It was pretty badass.
Hell
That's
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is like Team Kawasaki days then?
Yeah, that was
Rhino and him.
Yeah, Team Kawasaki.
Oh,
yeah, it was
That's
just
awesome.
great when Emick won all this stuff. So he had the number one plate. It was fucking badass. Like I totally appreciate that because he was a champion and he took his time out of the day to actually just give just some kid a call and try and cheer me up. You know what I mean? It was rad.
So Jeff came over to England. I've gone over to the Vets Motocross the Nations race at Farley Castle in England a couple times. And one year I was there, Jeff was there.
It's not Vets age though, it's Vets motorcycles, right? Like the bikes.
Well, they call it, but no, it's an age deal too, kind of to some degree.
You're not that old though.
No, so like to be on the team race though, like because that's the idea is that it's like a Motocross the Nations type team race.
Yeah, yeah.
And to be on the team race, you had to be 32 or 34 or something like that. You had to be a certain age. And actually, the first year they let me ride the team race for Team USA, I was actually too young, and they had to make a rule adjustment.
Nice.
So either way, Jeff is there one year, and we're all. The whole deal is over there. You're not there for the race. You're there for the party. The racing is like the side effect of just a bunch of drunken debauchery, having fun, hanging out, right?
Yeah.
So we're all at the pub. That literally there's a pub that you can walk to from the track. That's out. Like you have to leave the facility and walk up the road a couple blocks, and it's up there on the side of the road.
That sounds amazing.
Hungerford Arms or something like that.
Okay.
And they're always inns. Like they always have a hotel or something connected to them to some degree.
In case you get drunk and need a place to stay.
So we're all there, and this kid, like this 19-year-old kid's walking around because you don't have to be 21 to go in there and drink, and he's got Jeff Emick on like FaceTime on his phone from his hotel randomly.
Wow.
Yeah, like so Jeff was just like talking to fans and was like, "Yeah, man, hit me up, FaceTime me." Like, and he answered when the guy actually did FaceTime him at 1 a.m. Sunday night after the race is over or whatever. And Jeff was literally laying in bed FaceTiming.
That's insane.
With this kid walking around the pub after the races. It was hilarious.
Jeff's doing it for the fans.
Jeff's that's what I'm saying. Like Jeff is
anybody
doing it for
listening
the
to this that wants to talk to Emick, just call him up.
He's the guy. Call him. He'll answer the phone.
He'll talk. He's got time.
Not to take away from what he did for you. I'm just saying he's good with the fans.
I have a question. Emick's not the one, because I feel like this is the same place that someone told you sucked and you needed to go faster. No.
That was Glover, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Glover. He didn't say I suck.
Well,
basically, I said something about it was good to get a good start and see what the two fastest guys were doing. And he goes, "Yeah, too bad you only got to see it for about a half a lap," or something like that, like a dickhead. And it was like, "Hey, Brock, throw some fucking gear on. Let's go out and see who goes faster today." All right?
Oh boy,
Come on, Brock, you fucking golden boy, you.
Oh shit,
fucking Glover.
We have to get back to Manny.
I'm a Bridgestone guy. Fuck Dunlop.
Oh boy.
Yeah, God damn it, Brock. Wow. I hope it's Brock Glover.
We're accepting sponsors from any tire company. If they're listening, we'll take anything. No matter what Crater says, we will. You write the check, we'll love those tires.
Hell yeah.
They could be what tire company made those yellow and red back in
Michelin's? I think they had camo.
Michelin, yeah,
because
they were on Subway Hondas. I think they were terrible tires.
Metzger, yeah, they had the yellow ones, but Metzger ran them. I think he had the camo ones when he flipped the
yeah. Just not good tires. Holman ran them for a long time, or a couple of years too, or something.
I don't think it matters as much when you're hitting metal ramps.
Yeah, Holman didn't like it. He wasn't. No, they were sketchy. I mean, they were hard rubber. I think, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
Holman's got bike skills.
I heard they're weird on traction.
Yeah, weird on traction.
Yeah, Metzger didn't seem to mind, I guess, but
yeah,
I guess if that's all you run,
Metzger's an animal. He hit anything.
Yeah, I have some other Metzger stories.
We would like to get him on here too, but we heard he doesn't do podcasts.
Yeah, he shut me down. I'm like, I kind of know. I mean, I've hung out with him, a fair amount of time. I went to, I hung out with Holman a ton growing up too, so I went to a lot of shows and stuff. And
Mikey no go.
Yeah, he wasn't pumped
apparently.
I'm like, dude, I've got some good Mike Metzger stories. I'll tell you that.
Right.
I saw him run over a promoter in Canada, or just on the Washington side of the border, man. Yeah, he was just being silly and like just going full tilt.
Clipped.
And yeah, just ran out of breaking room and smoked the promoter. Just legs out from underneath him. Whoops.
All right, so Emig calls you. Emig calls you and says, "Come on down, let's hang out."
Yeah.
You go hang out with Emig. That's a good day.
That is a good day.
What happens?
Yeah,
Got the number one plate.
Yeah, national.
Yeah, and then
before he got popped,
he is pretty personable because the other night I seen a post and I feel bad. I feel like a dumbass because I was a little tipsy. I was kind of drunk and I seen this post and it was a number 11 Kawasaki, but I didn't look at the gear or anything. I was like, oh shit, Emig, and I was like, yeah, I had Emig 47. I appreciate you. Da, 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 da. And then he comes on. And he's like, hey, I appreciate the kind words, but
that ain't me.
This picture's not me. I wonder who it was. So I looked at it, and it was Thor gear, and it was Ezra Love. So I was like, oh man,
shit.
It was later.
Yeah,
dude.
So I felt like such an idiot, but it was cool that he actually responded back to that.
Right.
Funny Ezra Lusk story. My memory is so terrible. I swore to God, I was like, remember, I thought he was paralyzed. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, Ezra wasn't injured.
Yeah, amen. Thank God. But
yeah,
for some reason, a couple months ago, I was asking you, it came up. I was like, I don't know why I thought that, but yeah.
No idea.
That's terrible, though. So, Jeff, good. I love this look. It was a good year for you.
Good year.
He's like,
it wasn't a good year for him, though.
Has he ever been out to your house? He'd probably love to come out to your house.
No, actually, because
I'd be sending him the invite. I'd be like, do you know what Manny's yard is, motherfucker?
Yeah, so I messaged him and I was like, hey, dude, I'm sorry. I just got excited. I thought it was you, I think you're a rad guy. And then I was like, dude, you need to come out this winter and come for a trail ride or come hit some jumps or something. And he said, oh, yeah. He didn't say he's going to come out or anything like that. But hopefully he will. One day or another, that'd be rad.
I feel like there has been, like I said, we may be jumping forward a little bit.
Where does Jeffro live, you think? Do we know?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure anymore. I know back in the day he was out of Riverside, but I don't know about these days.
Right.
Yeah, I was
just
saying,
wonder if he's still in the general area or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know there has been a ton, like I said, we may be jumping forward a little bit, but there has been a ton of famous names run through your crib. I mean, that facility is pretty notorious, famous.
Notorious, yes it is.
In the Southern California mecca of dirt bike riding.
Yeah, no, all kinds of people come out. Back in the day, I would just kind of let anybody come up and ride, unfortunately.
At some point, you had to kind of start taming it off, though.
That's how Scummy showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, I talked to Scum the other day. I was like, hey, I'm talking to Manny. I'm like, you got any good stories or anything I should ask him about or whatever? He was like, yeah, ask him about when me and Seth went 230 there, I think was the question he was telling me to ask you about or something.
Yeah, no, that was pretty gnarly that day. We set up. We made a runway and a pad to put. We had Johnny Airtime's ramp out there that he did his stunts off of. It was like a long distance ramp.
Is that a good ramp?
We set that up, and so they were hitting it, and like when they were first hitting it, they were hitting it so hard that the front legs, like if they wanted to fold in, like you could see the leg, like the ramp wanted to give out.
That's terrifying.
It was crazy, dude.
Yeah. I would stop at that point.
Johnny Airtime wasn't going that fast.
Yeah. Be like, fuck breaking a chain. I don't want the ramp to fall apart. How about that?
Yeah. So they ended up coming out, and we put some other supports and stuff on it and beefed it up, and then but this was after Colin and Seth hit it. Colin and Seth, they're hitting it. I mean, they were going as fast as they could go in fifth gear.
Now, was this the one recently?
No.
Okay.
Was in
I wasn't sure which one he was talking about because I've known Colin for a number of years as well, and I mean, I just saw he's going through some stuff again. Big ups to Colin. He'll get through it. I know, but he was like he went a point where all his stuff he did was he was fucked up. Whether it was hitting your ramp, he was whatever he was on or whatever, but it was a big thing to him to come back to your house all these years later and do it sober.
Yeah, for sure. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Him and Colby were hitting the 200-foot the dirt jump a couple months back.
Yeah.
Colby
that was pretty sweet.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, we've jumped way forward. We need to skip back a little bit.
Back to Emig at Star West.
Yeah. Crater, get us on track. Crater, get us on track.
Star West or Paris?
Was it Star West or Paris?
I don't know.
What's that?
Where Emig?
Where you hung out with Emig?
Oh, that was Star West.
Star West.
Star West. Right. That was Star West. Yeah.
I have a love-hate relationship with Paris.
Yeah, and that place used to be rad. Like back in the day, they used to have this big double out back. Like when they had that VP leap jump, there was a huge double out back. That thing was fun. It was like 100 and something feet. I think
we know someone that passed away there.
At Paris?
Yeah.
Shane Kelly.
Yeah.
So I want to say if you look up on the rock there, Shane Kelly 556 is on the rock.
Yeah.
Shane Kelly was one of my good friends.
Oh man, I grew up with Shane up here.
Yeah,
he was from up here.
Yeah, he was a washing guy, and then I spent
80s with that kid.
I spent a lot of time with him in California when he lived, because he lived at Paris with his dad and whatever.
Well, yeah, his dad ran it.
Yeah.
For a long time, or for at least a little while.
But I do love the Paris track. But like I said, love hate. I hate it that he had to not be here anymore from that place. But
yeah, I got lucky. I saw him at Mammoth right before that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shane was a good dude.
Yeah, so when Shane moved down here, we went to high school together. And,
oh, wow. Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we were in high school together, and
were you guys the same age or close or what?
Yeah, we're the same age.
Okay.
And we were in PE together, and he was wearing a hat with a YZ on there. I was like, oh, you ride dirt bikes? And he's like, yeah. So I haven't been really riding much lately, and I was like, oh, dude, you got to come out ride my Supercross track. That's when I had my Supercross track still.
Oh, wow, nice.
And, so him and his dad started coming up, and then
he was good.
I actually got him lined up. Yeah, he was so good and so talented. And,
yeah.
You know, I got him hooked up with the local shop, and they were hooking up with bikes, and he came out, actually, when we did the first Blue Torch show, they actually put some shots of him at the end of the Blue Torch show. I don't know if you remember the old Blue Torch.
I do, yeah. Because, like I said, I was friends with Holman, so Holman did a lot of those Blue Torch things too, or some of the Blue Torch things. I know.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I remember he did one. It was a big step down or something. Cameron Steele. Those were back in the days too. Those Blue Torch
Elsinore.
Events. Yeah, Elsinore. Yeah. I think it was Elsinore.
The big jump was that nobody wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, I actually did. I saw him post something the other day, and I didn't watch it. I watched that FMX Riot 6 or whatever. It's pretty funny.
Oh, man.
They went to Dubai. It was like him and Potter and Lusk and Ronnie Renner and they were surprised that Holman did as well. He got second in it. They were surprised he did as well as he did, but yeah, he was crushing it out there.
I think he was one of those dudes that just wasn't affected by the travel, I guess.
He's not affected by much.
Well, I mean, some people get places and they're like, I'm not trying to get hurt here, you know what I mean? And they don't ride to the same level, and then
not scared.
You see them at their home, in their hometown, and they're better than they would be anywhere else. So I don't know.
Those are ramp kids. That was years later.
No, Jerry Limburner, notoriously fast in Alaska.
He's the Alaska State champ, bro.
Yep. He rode very differently in the
Anaheim
continental
one
United
was a different
States.
Story.
Yeah, continental U.S. He was not the same rider.
Yeah, big lights come on and.
Is there good riding up in Alaska? Do people ride up there?
No,
hence the fact he's state champ. There's not a lot of competition.
You know what? There's actually I think that there's quite a bit of riding up there. Obviously, there's a lot of open land. And there's some area to ride.
A lot of sketchy motherfuckers,
but I think you get 6 months to do it, and then you get 6 months to ride snowmobiles, I guess.
Oh, shit.
Not for me.
Alaska's a weird place.
It's not for me. Less things that'll kill you than Australia, but more ways to die. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or one cold way to die all the time.
I feel like it's always cold. There's a lot of 24-hour sunlight days and a lot of 2-hour sunlight days.
Well, I think that it's more like a lot of a lot of really long days and a lot of really short days, but
that's just what I fucking said.
But not 24-hour. They're not really.
Jesus. Okay.
Only if you go way north do you get real 24-hour days.
I do tend to exaggerate things. Greater.
I know. But I've been there. I've seen it. Yeah, right. It gets dark. Dark at 3 or 4 a.m. and then it's light again at 6 or 7.
I'm not trying to go to Alaska for anything.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Mosquitoes in the summer. Cold in the winter.
Ugh, yuck. No part of it do I want.
Right.
I like Southern California. Yeah, I like it. What's the weather like right now, Manny? Talk about, what's the weather outside right now?
The weather right now, it's actually, it got cold last week, a little bit cold, but the last couple of days it's been actually fairly warm. So it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's kind of cold in the morning, and then in the afternoons it gets pretty warm.
What is cold?
Yeah, exactly. That's what. Okay, so I've lived in Southern California for a while. He's like, it's freezing. It's 75.
Yeah, well, it's been 62 overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Got down to 65.
You know what? I didn't really look up the thermometer, but it's probably like in the 50s.
Yeah,
40s or 50s.
Yeah, that's actually warmer than the high in Seattle.
Exactly.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's a product of growing up in Southern California. And 50 degrees is cold.
Yeah. Dear. All right, Crater, bring us back on track with Manny's career.
I feel like we left.
Where
we left
at?
Star West. You got to hang out with
Emig, Star West.
That was a good experience. So you're you're not 14.
No, he was.
Yeah, you're older than that now.
I was 14.
Oh, that is still 14. Coming off that injury.
Oh, because did you have your Halo on when we met Jeff?
Yeah, when I met Jeff, I still had the Halo on.
Oh, okay. All right.
Did he grab you by it and shake you?
Almost. No, he didn't. He was actually
silly
super
goose.
cool.
He's like, why do you have this thing on? You're like, well, I wrecked really bad on a couch.
I was on quad.
14 years old. What do you want from me? Oh, that is the coolest story. Just calling him out of the phone book.
Right.
Or no, that was Metzger. Sorry.
Getting back to Metzger, he's helped me a bunch in my career or whatnot. And I'll go to like my first jump contest. I'd gotten into that though from a different guy actually. One of my good friends. It was actually one of my wife's. We were married back then or whatnot, but it was my wife's friend's boyfriend, and his name Mike Ball. He lined me up with this local skate shop. It was called RTD.
Okay.
And he called LXD or whatever, and ended up getting me into.
Yeah, I remember the LXD event.
Yeah, so this was like Costa Mesa '99. I think it was my first one I went to try out, and
nice.
So we get down there. Me and Tara, we ditched school that day, loaded up the truck, went down, and
what bike were you on? What bike did you load up in the back of the truck this day?
That was my 99 YZ250 is what I had at that point. Yep. And so we get down there, and I was like 16. And I go to sign up, and they're like, well, where's your guardian? I'm like, well, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, we have to have somebody sign for you. Who's going to be your guardian? And luckily, my cousin Chris Ackerman, he was working the event, and he had just turned 18, so he signed for me. And so that event was kind of a learning experience for me. It was like one of the first times I've ever seen like a freestyle motocross ramp. So I hit all the dirt jumps, but I didn't hit the ramps at that one. And so getting back into Mike Metzger, he got me into my second one, which was in Irwindale, and that's when I started hitting the ramps and stuff.
I was hoping you were going to tell me Mike Metzger claimed you as as your guardian, which would never be safe. But
so yeah. Hit my first ramp there. Unfortunately, back then, like these days, people can move them up or whatnot. Back then, it was like 75 or 80 feet. And like, you either hit it or you don't. So I was like 16. And I was like,
deal with
all
it.
Right. Yeah. Third year, I hit it. No problem.
That's good.
So that was pretty cool.
You're on a 125? Oh, you're on the white
Maybe.
video.
But no, he's got the racer style like you probably.
Probably.
No, I was on a 250, but I had my gearing weird because I had like a 51 or something on the back. I had like
arena cross or what?
For some reason. Yeah, and I don't know why. I think Cameron still actually talked to me and putting that on there. He's like, "Yeah, 51 hit it in third."
It was in the early days where nobody really knew exactly anything what was going on, like, or it was
it's all a guess.
Pandemonium. It wasn't.
No, it was primitive back then. So it was everything was all new.
It wasn't like cookie cutter, like somewhat nowadays. Like everything set at the same. Every content, it's all going to be exactly. Yeah, everything's going to be prepped for you guys. Like what? I mean, it should be, but back then it wasn't really like that. So
right.
Yeah.
So Manny's not scared. He's just showing up, trying to OJ third gear, clicking up and sending it. How was the landing? You sailed it though. You got it. How was the landing there?
It was good. Yeah, it was actually a nice big landing. So I timed it perfect. I hit it perfect.
Yeah.
It was like when I went off it. I just remember like I probably this day I'm thinking because back then I didn't hit it in second, I hit it in third. Now I hit it like 75, 80 feet in second gear.
Yeah.
But being in third, it kind of bucked me a little bit. So it was hard to do tricks for me because I was getting kind of bucked, and I felt I had to pull up and keep on the throttle a little bit while I was in the air. So I couldn't really set myself up right to do any decent tricks.
Yeah, you weren't preload off the ramp very good. You were just soaking it up more than preloading and.
Yeah, and just it was kind of new to me, so
it was early.
Learning,
learning. Yep. And man, back then the learning curve was sharp too. There wasn't, foam pits and whatever else.
No, it was just you go for it or you don't.
Yeah.
No
better
foam pits, no airbags,
yeah, airbag,
no resi mats, no nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And going for it, you did.
Yep. Went for it. So it was pretty cool. So just snowballed.
Who else was at that LXD event? Do you remember who else was riding with you? Do you remember what place you got? Do you remember, did you get paid? How much? Anything?
Kerry Hart. It was like Kerry Hart, Mike Metzger.
I've heard of that guy.
And Link Ogle.
Nice.
It was I think the first event Billy Walls did. Billy Walls was there.
Yeah, I know that name.
Sean Highland.
Highland, nice.
Trying to think. I think it was Dan Pastor's, one of Dan Pastor's first events he did.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think. The Distlers were there.
Nice, both of them.
That would be the Distlers.
Yeah, I think both of them. I know at least John was there because he was throwing some just ridiculously huge whips. Like they're freaking gnarly.
I feel like Jake Wyndham was a name back then too. Was that?
He was a little bit later on. I think he was a couple of years after that. Yeah, or if he was because I think he rode. I didn't really ride the IFMA event. That's the ones that like him and like the Reno guys that they were riding those ones. So I'm not sure if he was there at that point or not, but I don't remember seeing his name until like maybe like 02, 03-ish.
Yeah, the IFMA stuff. Yeah. But we're still before that. We're still LXD.
Yeah, that was like 99, I believe.
Yep.
99. So, yeah, I just kept going to different events. That event, I didn't make the night show or anything like that just because it was just a dumb kid. I was learning.
And back then, there probably wasn't any start money. You weren't saying, name dropping and saying, I'm here, give me $1,000 to show up. No.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately.
And,
but hey, it was the learning days. I mean, it was, at least you got a place to ride. It was probably super exciting and cool to be there. I mean, big names.
Oh, yeah. No, it was,
cool jumps.
Yeah, it was so cool. And it's hard too, like a lot of the times, like going to do events and stuff like that, because I'm sitting there riding with all my heroes that I grew up watching on the videos, and I'm like, man, how do I even compete with these guys? But I got
mentally that can be tough.
No, it was tough mentally because it's like, well, fuck, I'm just fucking Manny, and this guy's Mike Metzger and Terry Hart and Brian Deegan and Larry Link Caldwell, you know. And
yep.
So, yeah, it was pretty different.
Understandable. So, what happened from there? What were the next shows, or how long were you doing shows for? Just how much did you travel? Where were you going?
Yeah, so I was trying to do like all the LXD events and stuff like that.
I don't remember the schedule for the LXDs. How many were there a year, or were they just, where were they? Where'd they go to? I remember the events and they were big, but
I can't really remember too much anymore either. But they were going all over the place too. LXD was. I know they went to. I did a bunch of them in like Las Vegas and stuff like that.
Nice. I'll have to look. I swear, like a month or two ago, I still have a bunch of like the Wide Open magazines and stuff. I was flipping through one the other day, and I saw it was like a 2-page spread of whatever year it was. It was early, but it was like all the events, and it was 2 pages of events. You know, what LXD,
like calendar,
X Games, Gravity Games, whatever. Yeah, it was crazy. I'll have to look it up and see if the LXDs were in it or whatnot, what year it was.
Yeah, back then there was quite a few people doing jump contests and stuff like that, because there was the LXD and then ISMA, and then there was another group called Milestone. I think they still do like monster trucks and stuff like that.
Yep.
Milestone. And there's also Blue Torch put on their event.
Yeah.
They were called Ride and Slide. Those are pretty.
Yeah, the Ride and Slide. Yeah. Even MTV was hosting some events. I mean, they had Sync Mars do a few different things for them.
Yeah, I think Sync Mars, he jumps over like a bay or something like that, and then also he jumped like over a big ass bus or something too.
And his house, he did his parents' house.
Didn't Metzger jump it too? I feel like
no, Seth did, and Seth wrecked the shit.
Seth was the one that jumped way too far.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Peel his face.
Metzger did it. Metzger had a cool poster of like
or
not Metzger. Sorry, of Sync Mars.
I thought Metzger had to jump over a house in the desert somewhere.
Not that I know of. Not that I remember.
There was a big fire. They were
partying. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Somebody.
I know there used to be like out here in Marietta, there was a house jump that a lot of people were hitting. Like
that was in like SMP Disturbing the Peace or whatever.
Who was that? That was a Supercross kid. His parents' house, or his parents had owned the place.
Yeah, that was kind of behind Mike LaPaglia. His track was right below.
Yep.
And then there was it was actually a housing tax development that was coming in. They had it pretty much developed for houses and like apartments, or I don't know what's in there now. But
was there a big step up like across the street where I don't remember who it was. I don't remember what movie it was, but there was a big step up that I went to a couple years after the movie had come out. Like me and Billy Binkley went there and checked it out. Like, and it was in a housing development, but it was over a road gap, big step up. I think McGrath hit it in maybe a terra firma or.
I'm not too sure though. The only road jumps like in the area I can think of is like right above the yard where the big ones in Cottonwood. That's the only road jumps I don't recall any else.
That could be it. Like I said, my memory is terrible. So it's possible that is the one I'm speaking about, but right below that house jump was there's a big jump that was also in the S&P video. I think it's the one that Larry got hurt pretty big on. It was know what?
A big double like by a wash where you like went in like there was like they dug a hole for the lip so you drop into a hole and then jump.
Huh.
That doesn't work here in the Northwest. We can't dig holes. They fill with water.
I literally just had a memory flashback, though. I do remember, I think when me and Binkley went close to that big step-up jump, someplace real close to it, there was like, you had to kind of go down this like hill slide, but there was a cool like BMX jump park thing. Like, it wasn't very visible.
Yeah, that's Cottonwood.
Okay. So, there you go. That's the place, yeah. That was a cool
that's
step.
Where I grew up riding.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Did you hit that step up? That's a big step up.
I didn't hit the biggest one, but there was another fairly big one that you could see, like Ryan Hughes, and then hit, I think in the skin video. But the real big one, like that McGrath and like Metzger and stuff were hitting, I didn't hit that one. I was on a 125 then, and
my boy Binkley,
they're hitting it like, yeah, they're hitting it like 50 or 10.
Yeah,
I remember Steve Andrus would hit it too, and
Binkley likes speed. He likes desert. Yeah. Chop,
idiot.
Desert. Yeah. An 800-pound motorcycle. And he's like, yeah, this all seems well. Let's do 100 miles an hour and send it. Stuff's crazy. I wouldn't have hit that step up either.
There's like a pretty big one over this ravine that was pretty cool out there that I hit a few times. There's all kinds of cool stuff. A lot of people, there's actually a house pad. And like, I think, Doug Henry, he would actually like double the house pad. It's hard to explain, but like, cause the house pads would go up, so it'd become like a step up.
Yeah. Like
it
makes sense. I get
level,
it.
Levels.
Yeah. Big tabletop.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. So yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff there, and it's kind of cool because now, like where I grew up, like where I learned how to ride and stuff, they actually, that area where I rode every day is actually a school now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So also growing up in these times in the area you did, I tell you, I spent a lot of time in Southern California, but my geography and memory are not the best. But there was a ton of people's compounds down there. Were you riding at any of those, like Deegan's or?
That's a big list.
Yeah, Link Oggles. I mean, I'm trying to think who.
No.
He had his own.
I didn't really ride anybody else's stuff. I did, when Matt had his ranch, I rode there. When they had the Metal Militia thing down at the Elsinore track, I rode that.
I remember that. Yeah, that was like 2000, 2001, something like that. Yeah, that compound just at Elsinore.
Yeah. But other than that, I just kind of kept to my house, I guess. Didn't really need to go anywhere, I guess.
Yeah. How much property do you have? Like what, and why is it so amazing?
It's actually it's actually my parents own it.
Yep.
my mom and dad's place.
Perfect.
So it's 13 acres. And it just, so I guess what makes it the big landing is the biggest thing.
Just a big natural landing.
Yeah, that's what kind of made it. I mean,
it's a good thing to have.
So that hill was basically already there?
Yeah, it was a natural hill.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a natural hill that was there. When I was a kid, I would just haul ass and just jump off the top of it, and then I finally started building step-ups off of it, and then we had like a 90-foot step up over it. And when McGrath came out, and he's like, "Oh, we should make a bigger one." So then we built like a 140, and he hit that. Him and Mike Chamberlain and a couple other people, they were hitting a 140, and that was when I was hurt with a broken neck or whatever. And and this, sorry, I'm jumping back a little bit.
No, you're fine. That's good.
But yeah, so that was kind of the start of the big jump there.
So was it a dirt? Was that dirt to dirt at that point? 140?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's dirt to dirt, and then we actually that day we built the bigger one, the 200-footer, but nobody wanted to go for it that day. It actually took a few years for anybody to go for it. It was Chuck Carruthers. He was the first one to actually hit the big dirt one.
Yeah,
we talked to Chuck about
him,
that. Yeah,
we just had him on the show not too long ago.
Yeah,
Chuck is apparently a really, really, really good guy. I didn't really know him, but what's that other guy's name? Jose Garcia, or he helped some guy out so much. Oh no, it was Mike Cole from Australia.
Yeah, Matt Cole.
Or Matt Cole, sorry, yeah, Matt Magic Cole. I don't know if you know him, but Australian guy. He was like, he gave so much props to Crothers for like putting him up when he came from Australia to like Texas, getting him bikes, like yada yada yada.
A little bit.
It's like, Jesus, Chuck is a good human being.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, he's a super nice guy for sure.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So back to so Chuck jumped it first, couple 3 years later. You're saying what?
Yeah, Chuck jumped it, and then a couple weeks later, Colin, he came out and hit it. He didn't follow him or whatnot, so it's almost like he jumped it first too, because he didn't really see any footage or anybody hit it.
Right. So it's always easier though too when you show up and somebody goes, "Oh no, so and so already jumped that."
Yeah, they were here last week and they hit it.
Yeah, I know it is.
I've been talked into some stupid stuff because so and so already jumped that, and then I found out later that
so and so's a nobody.
So and so didn't exist or didn't actually do what they said they did. So no, I understand completely. Once you hear somebody else did it, it's like it clicks in your head. Oh, that can be jumped. Let's do it.
I think that's how Travis Pastrana gets people into. They're like, no, triple backflip. No, it's totally possible.
Yeah, man. I did the math. It's good.
Yeah, we're good. You're golden, bro.
You're 120 feet in the air. You got this.
What you need to do is send it.
Yeah, like if you go faster, it'll help.
There's a ramp like a mile long. It's got quarter mile of vert. I mean, yeah, no.
I did it into the Grand Canyon one time.
It
should be fine.
Stupid.
That's funny. Pastrana's pretty crazy. I never really got to ride with him too much. That's one of the OGs that never actually came out to the yard and rode.
Right. Well, he was
a back east guy.
He's a Maryland guy or whatever, and had a compound that he didn't leave too often. I don't think he had a reason to do so. But I don't think Travis was a big long distance jump guy. Like he never was. I mean, he did to some degree. I mean, he hit tabletops as a kid or whatever. And him and Chuck had their little back and forth.
Yeah.
But Travis, I mean, like, you never see him. That's not what he does.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Distance guys seem like they're few and far between.
Well, they're a special breed. They're different. I don't know.
Yeah.
They are. I don't know what it is.
I feel literally like there's only a handful of them. I mean, and capable quality ones, there's even less than.
Yeah, right.
I mean, realistically. So when did people start showing up at your house that, I mean... Well, you had to just close the door and be like, no, you don't have the talent to be here?
Well, like I was like, as you know, I always wanted to help people out. I was loved watching everything progress or whatever. And, so, people would show up and be like, hey, can I ride? And I'd be like, yeah, you know what? So I want you to hit this. I have like kind of a safe jump on the back of the hill, or ramp on the back of the hill. I was like, yeah, so, I want to see you hit this first, and then we'll see about it.
We'll go from there.
So there's been a few people where I had to be like, hey, no, you know what?
It's not for you.
You can't. Yeah, and like, it's funny because there's actually one guy from Washington. I forget his name.
Shit. Jesus.
It's
me.
He was super nice.
It's me. You had to kick me out. I wasn't qualified. No. No. I wish. I've never been to your house. So yeah.
Do we have a name or not? I want to know.
I don't think he knows the name.
I forget his name now. It's been so long, but he came out and he was like, dude, I seen this place on Food Courts. I saved up all spring. And I quit my job, and I want to learn how to ride this summer. And I want to learn how to ride here. And I was like,
no.
Cool. And he showed me pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, let me see you hit this on the back of the hill. And
didn't go so well.
Was it Robert Haslam?
Well, he was hitting it, but he was a little bit swirly, and I was like, I think you need to hit this, a little bit more and get a little bit more acclimated to ramps, And then he's like, well, can I just take a couple runs up here, because I had the 75-foot ramp low. And just let me take a couple runs at it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, just, you can take a run at it, but don't hit it. And then, so he took a run at it, and he was going super slow, and he just goes off of it. And
we're
dear. Like, what the
take
fuck?
a run at it.
Yeah, and he didn't even make it
to the landing.
Make it to the landing.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so he bails off, and he, packs into, where the landing and meets the ground, I guess, the backside of the landing where it meets the flat ground. And he didn't get hurt or anything. He broke his bike a little bit, but at that point, I think it was me and Fluffer and Ox and Dean. And we're like, fuck it. So we actually gave him parts to put on his bike, and he put them on his bike, and so we were riding, and the dude was watching us, and then next thing I knew, he took the parts off, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go get my own parts. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. We'll be up there for a little bit. And then I've never seen him since.
Wow. That's
back
weird.
to Washington.
Yeah,
that's a weird one. So I mean, he wasn't like a big name guy by any means.
Jeff Schnee.
It might have been Jeff Schnee.
No, not that I know.
Did he go by Sister?
Nope.
Then there was another kid down. He was from San Diego, and he was a little bit squirrely. And I told him he couldn't hit the ramp, and it was like somewhat the same deal. But he actually almost had the speed to hit it, but he came up short, and he ended up punching, like his face hit his bolt for his brake reservoir, and it punched a hole through his goggles and through his forehead. And he broke his back.
Oh God! It just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly.
Man.
Then there was another guy. He was pretty thrilly, and I shut him down. And then, like a couple months later, the dude was out somewhere else, and he ate shit and died.
Whoa, Jesus!
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Gnarly.
Jesus.
So,
did somebody just die at Glen Helen?
I did hear that at the Vet Nationals. I think.
Well,
Johnny
it was like
told
practice beforehand.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, maybe the Friday.
It was like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah,
before.
Johnny told me something
because Rhino. I'm not a huge fan of Ryan Hughes because he's kind of a kook, but he was talking about it, and somebody sent it to me, and it was like, yeah, he was like genuinely upset with people because they aren't willing to learn skills that will save their lives in that scenario.
Okay.
But at the same time, he actually put out a video after that kind of apologized and he was like mad at himself for not caring more about the rider involved and blah blah blah, not stopping and taking time to memorialize or whatever word he used, but it's a thing. I mean, like, people don't have the bike skills to get out of trouble when bad things start to happen, and so I mean, I could kind of agree on some of that. They don't take the time to care.
Shocking people ride over their head a lot.
Well, I mean, his point is these bikes are so fast now.
Yeah, they are retardedly.
You go buy the lightest, fastest, most
people don't need it either. They think they need a 450. It's right. Like, dude, you have absolutely no idea what you're hopping on. Like,
right. And this guy,
there's no way 90% of the people should have 450s.
Right. And it sounds like the track was still smooth. It wasn't like some terrible thing. It just, I mean, sad, things went sideways in a hurry, and the guy, I don't know if it was a head injury or what, but
yeah, I don't either. But yeah,
people don't wear enough gear,
and
people, take for granted that they can just go do it for fun and that nothing bad can happen. But
you got to know what you're.
Not always just for fun. It's good to have bike skills.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to know. So, growing up in your area, like, who was kind of at some point? Who was your crew? You mentioned Fluffer and, who was Fitzpatrick, Potter? Were those guys? Did you Garland? I love me some Garland. He doesn't want to come on the podcast either, but I've spent a lot of time with Garland back in the day.
Yeah, so like, cause I was in with Cameron Steele or whatnot, so he would bring up all the San Clemente kids. So I was riding with them a lot.
Okay, so you were friends with Cameron Steele. How'd you meet him, or what?
Through my cousin Chris.
Okay.
Chris Ackerman.
Yeah. I want to talk about him too, whatever. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So Chris, he grew up in San Clemente, so he knew all those guys and whatnot. So he got Cameron out, and then Cameron started bringing the boys out, and they had started out like just like Fluffer and Bean, and then all of a sudden it was Fox, which back then we called him Hungy Bear.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
the big old corn-fed kid or whatnot.
Yeah, football player, big boy on a dirt bike. Like, what are you doing riding a dirt bike? Like,
but he ripped.
He did, and he ended up losing the weight and becoming, amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. And then, Garland. Garland, he got his start pretty much up at the yard. There's another kid, that Chris Mathis. There's all kinds. All the San Clemente kids. They come out and ride a lot. I was riding with Brian Farrell would come up and ride.
For people that don't know, how far was San Clemente from the yard? Like, where are these people coming from? I know San Clemente.
45 minutes, an hour.
There you go.
You'd have to go over
just
the Ortega Mountain.
Yeah. Oh.
West.
West. Okay.
Or they were west. I'm east from them.
perfect. But it's a quick 45-minute trip, and they were at an amazing place to ride.
Yeah.
I'm sure they didn't mind it at all.
And then like later on, me and Chris Rourke, we became good friends, and pretty much every day. This is what I actually started getting pretty good. Being every day at like 8 a.m., me and Rourke and Mike Harris and Regan Sieg, we would ride, and Ryan Leba, and we'd ride every day, like just all day.
And a crew pushing each other,
right.
like trying to one up each other, trying to do better, that you get progressed pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. And then, in between, like, there's always different people coming up and riding with us or whatnot. But for a while, like the main, this was probably about 01-ish, is when Rourke and Regan and Mike Harris, it was pretty cool. We would ride every day.
In the meantime, were you doing shows, traveling? I mean,
yeah, we
practicing
were
during the week, and then whatever show was around, or parking lot, demo, whatever.
Whatever we could pull off, we were trying to do. So that was pretty cool.
Were you?
I never really did that good.
You didn't?
Go ahead.
No, yeah. What'd you say?
I never really did that good in the jump contest. I always got real nervous, and I don't know, my confidence wasn't that good because I was, like I said earlier, it's just like I was there with all the guys I grew up watching, and I was like, man, how do I compete with this?
100%.
I think my best one was like a 13th or something like that is my best one.
Yeah. How far were you traveling? Were you going far, or just kind of the normal California stuff, which there was a lot of back then? So.
Yeah, it was mainly like
or Arizona, Vegas.
There's a lot in California, and there's a lot in my main places that I rode doing shows was like California, Arizona, Nevada.
Yep.
Did like some in Washington too, in Pasco.
Hey, Pasco. I've had some good times in Pasco Arena Cross there.
Did you stay at the Red Lion too?
Yes, I've been to the Red Lion in Pasco. Yes, I have. They got a good bar / dance club there.
Yeah, and,
Lockhart's been there too.
Yeah, Lockhart's been there. A couple people been there.
Yeah.
Where else did I go? Montana.
Where at Montana? Kalispell? Not up there?
Missoula.
Missoula, all right.
Yeah.
Where did you jump there? Like at the college maybe or something?
Hopefully.
No, there's like a rodeo thing in the center of the city. Like
okay.
I don't know, it's like a rodeo looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we jumped there. That was just a demo. Where else did I go? Illinois.
Demos are fun though. I mean, brings out the locals.
For sure. Texas. I went to Texas a couple times.
Visit Chuck.
Yeah, at that point, I think he was still in California.
Oh nice. Yeah.
That makes sense, funny. Probably.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So
traveling, doing shows. What year are we in, Crater? I'm asking you.
Around 01-ish, I guess.
01-ish?
Yeah.
What are you looking?
Hey, you there?
Help me out. Crater's
there you go.
Throwing me off here.
Well, okay, so you're traveling, doing shows. What's next, I guess, after 01-ish?
I did think of another question I wanted to talk about,
right.
But go ahead.
No, bring it up.
I do. I meant you've mentioned a couple times your cousin, Chris Ackerman. I don't know how many people know him. Is he older, or younger?
He's a couple of years older than me.
Older?
That's like when me and my wife went to that event, that's when he was there. I lucked out. I was 16. He just turned 18, so he's 2 years older than me.
Okay. I don't remember. How old was he when he had his accident? And were you there? Were you...
I think he was like 23.
23.
And, no, I wasn't there. I forgot what tour that was. It was like a free riding tour. And I ended up not going. I forgot why. But at that time, I was working for Jeff at Freeride Technology building ramps.
Okay.
And I was coming home from work. We were working in Anaheim building ramps out of this trailer shop. So I was coming home, and then he called me up. Jeff called me up, and he was like, "Hey, you need to go to Loma Linda. Your cousin, Chris, he crashed real bad out in the dunes." And at that point, they didn't even know if he was going to make it. They're like, "We don't even know if he's going to make it. Go down there." So I ended up hauling ass down to Loma Linda, and then I got there right when he showed up, and they were bringing him in, and we didn't quite know how bad he was, or if he was going to make it, or what was going on.
Yeah.
I know. I actually met the guy that actually saved his life, because when they found him, he wasn't breathing or nothing, so they actually had to cuddle, do the
tracheotomy.
So,
unfortunately, he was way out in the dunes, and it took a long time for any help to get to him. The story they're in the middle of the dunes, in the middle of Dumont Dunes. So, dude, I think they used like a pen and a freaking help was a long ways away, and you're dying in the dunes. You got to do a pen in the old throat. And, man,
so that dude breathed for him, and then they ended up a Black Hawk helicopter is what came out and picked him up and took him out to Loma Linda.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to say I rode in a Black Hawk, but that's not how I want to do it.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, he's.
But he ended up being.
He's lucky. Maybe it happened where it did. I mean, if he would have been some Dubai, you never. I mean, healthcare, you never know. I mean,
I think Dubai has very good hospitals.
Yeah. But whatever. I mean,
that's a bad example.
If I'm getting hurt, I would like to get hurt in the United
Uganda,
States of America. Yeah, there you go. I don't want to get hurt. Yeah, China. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. Yeah. Yeah, that is.
But somebody got him to Loma Linda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank God.
The guy he actually makes skateboard ramps, or he did. I feel bad because I forget his name. I met him, and he has like a big skateboard ramp company out in like Orange County or something like that. But
what was he just out in the dunes, fucking with his family, like just riding around, and just happened to run across this?
I think he was on the tour with them for some reason or another. Yeah. I think he was with them or whatnot. So I guess what happened is, they're all hauling ass. Chris had just gotten a CRF 450, and they're hauling ass, and he's like fifth gear wide open, and all of a sudden it was a Razorback, and
dunes can be scary. They just drop off out of nowhere, and
a little windfall gets you.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
brutal.
Yeah,
so
not a good time.
I never go first. I'm never. I'm being totally serious. I've led in the I never even lead
I've
a trail ride.
I've scared myself more times than I want to, like going in the dunes.
Well, not even that, but like trail rides, I never go first.
Yeah.
A, I don't know where I'm going because I don't know the trails well enough, and B, I don't want to be the guy that gets hit head on. So
see, I wish I was as smart as you. I'm just like, fuck, I'll get out front and send it. Sure.
But I've watched my buddy get hit head on, and I watched the same guy cartwheel off of a windfall because he just went too fast off. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah, what are you doing?
But it happened. Like, that's the problem. It'll sneak up, and I've gone off windfalls when I'm out playing. And, whatever. But
not like that though.
But obviously I never had that occur, but to that degree. But man, scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hit a big one in Oregon at the sand dunes. But
when did you start to slow down your FMX career? Did seeing that, like being close to that, did that make you not want to ride anymore?
That was probably I think that was around 03. I started to kind of wind down in 02. What kind of fucked with me is I had a bike failure, so it was the end of 01. It was right. No, when I landed.
Oh. Well,
so, it was like end of 01. My wife was pregnant with my first kid, and she was watching, and Tyler Evans came.
01, you were like 17? 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 18.
Okay.
He was a youngster in the sport the whole time.
No,
like, he's in a cage at 14. I mean,
he says I got my first kid coming. Like,
oh yeah, I didn't
18,
think about that. Yeah, I didn't think. Yeah, and married. You got married young too, eh?
Yeah, me and my wife, we've been, well, I hate to say this, we're technically not married, but I consider her my wife. We've been together since we're like 15, so we've been together for
holy shit, that's so
years.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow, that is really cool, I think.
Yeah.
Coming from the guy that's not married.
Yeah, I love her.
I'm working on it.
That is so cool.
Hey,
I'm not
okay,
married.
no. Time out. You know why? Because I've never wanted to be married and divorced, so I've waited to find the right one. And I mean,
I'm pretty sure you haven't found the right one.
No,
I'm just throwing that out there right now. I'm going to say it right now.
Stop it.
I'm pretty sure she ain't the one.
Anyway,
sorry, I digress. Back to you're 18. You have a bike failure when you're you land on a jump.
Yeah, so I'll go back a couple days before. One of my sponsors, I'm not going to name their name or whatever.
Yeah.
I kind of should because they kind of treated me like shit after.
Let's throw them under the bus then. Who are they? Go ahead.
So they called me up and was
tell all 7 of our listeners.
We got a bad batch of metal. You need to pull our parts off your bike.
What was the part failure? Let's go there first. What was the part failure?
Yeah, what was the...
So, my whole front end split off my bike.
Uh-oh. Triple clamps.
Triple clamps.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Triple clamps, yeah.
Applied?
So,
you cocksuckers.
Was it applied?
Yeah.
I fucking guessed it.
Well, that's who Seth had on his bike.
Yeah. They were big back in the day. I think I had them on. They were.
No, they were huge, and I appreciate their help. They gave me a lot of parts.
Well, I mean, they did call and tell you before it broke off.
I feel like fucking Seth's face got wrecked because of applied.
No, his face didn't get wrecked on that jump. No.
Yeah, it did.
Nuh-uh.
It was at Sinkmar's parents' house when he went over.
No. He was in the parking lot doing the long distance jump in Vegas when his triple clamp snapped. He had the leather jacket on.
I feel like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You're right.
I know.
You're right.
100%. It happens a lot.
Yeah. He just, overshot. OJ'd this.
No, he didn't. He landed right where he should have.
Sinkmar's house.
Sinkmar's OJ by a mile.
Sorry. Okay. Back on track. Sorry. My bad.
Back on track.
God damn it.
So they called you, though, and said, hey, the heat treatment work, whatever it was.
Yeah, it was 2 days before that, and I didn't ride from...
So is that
I didn't ride?
They called you the day after Seth's shit broke?
I feel like my fucking lawyer, Arthur Draper, will be calling you.
Right.
Don't talk to me anymore. I'm hanging up.
So yeah, the dude calls me up, take the parts off, and then a couple days later, I didn't take them off, and I was and Tyler Evans calls me up, and he's like, "Hey, let's just do an evening session." I'm like, "Well, I guess I've had these clamps on my bike for a few months. What's one more ride?"
Dude, I've been here. Yeah. You know what? Nothing's different than the last time I rode it. It was fine then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So warming up, my wife's sitting there watching. She's pregnant. Tyler Evans is sitting back of his truck, and he's gearing up. And I was already geared up, and I was hitting the jump, and I was my third or fourth time. I wasn't even doing tricks yet. I was just kind of warming up.
Yep.
And next thing I knew, I was on the ground, and half of my bike is in front of me, and half of it is behind me.
You're like, that appears to be in two pieces. I'm not sure why.
Really, really David Pingreed that thing.
Yeah. Oh.
So I was like, "Oh man, I guess I should have listened to dude." So
did you get hurt?
Yeah, I dislocated my shoulder.
I want to. Another thing. I'm just
saying. After
thinking
being
about
14 with your head in a cage,
I want to go over.
Really an injury?
What's your complete injury or a brief synopsis of your injury list? How many were there? So the early was the cage at 14 in the head, and then I heard a shoulder at some point, I think, but.
Whoa, so you have the broken neck. Didn't you say you did it twice, though? Neck?
No, my neck I didn't do twice.
I didn't hear that.
We just talked about it more than once, I think.
Possibly. Yeah. That happens, too.
So So yeah, my first one was a broken arm, broken neck, and then they also said that I fractured my T5 in my back too at that point. But I don't think they ever really did anything for that or whatever.
Yeah.
Then my shoulder, I've broken fingers and hurt my wrist. I didn't break my wrist, but I sprained it pretty bad. My injuries were like super bad. I don't have a long list of them. Just when I did them,
just
it was pretty gnarly.
Catastrophic one though with the neck. Like I don't care if you still walk, whatever. I got friends that have broken their necks and walk and whatever. But to me, that's like a super scary catastrophic.
He still
injury.
Sent it for 20 years after that or whatever, 10 years, whatever.
Yeah, I've broken
21. You're an 8.
Broken my jaw. I broke my jaw. Broke teeth out.
Been there. Knock some teeth.
Yeah. Kind of toes.
Been there. I got some toe issues right now going on.
Yeah, toe issues. That's the main concern.
Yeah. Fucking toes. God. I hate them. Oh man.
But so I was on the ground, and when my bike split in half, and I was trying to figure out what was going on. Tyler Evans was like, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think I am." And he's like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Dude, that was the fucking gnarliest thing I ever seen." And he fucking threw his shit in his truck and he boned out.
That was it for him.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Old one punch had enough of
he wasn't having any of that.
That's I feel like 01. That's before he was even one punch.
No, he was one punch. That was
yeah. He was still skinny riding a Honda. I feel like he wasn't even bulked up yet.
Yeah.
He was bulked up. I think it was right when he got off the Suzuki. Like he was on that D Marini.
He was on the D Marini Suzuki's in 2000 for sure. And was he on a Honda?
Yeah, and
he was on a Honda.
That when he was first on Honda. Like when his first days on the Honda. Yeah.
Okay. But he was already starting to gain weight, like bulking up.
Yeah, he was already starting to bulk up. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
On the D-Marini team, he was pretty tall and lean still.
I have a question that was probably tall. in your genre. Did you ever go to that event called Game, like the Great American Motocross Experience in Las Vegas? They had a freestyle show. They had Capes was doing a distance record. They had not MotoGP, but like street bike thing. They had Supermoto. I think they had like everything. Were you there or no?
No, I didn't go to that one.
I don't remember who rode that contest, but that was a pretty crazy weekend.
Did they have Supercross type event?
They did. Binkley rode it. Yeah. And Tyler Evans was there. That's what. Yeah, Tyler Evans was there. I don't remember who he's on, but I think Kenny Watson was helping him then, and like practice was there, and Tyler Evans' bike wasn't there, and Tyler was not happy. Kenny Watson was hungover.
K-Dub showed up. He didn't get the bike set up in time.
He had the box van at the at some other hotel, or maybe Tyler went home with someone else, and like Kenny's he got driven to the track. He's like, where the fuck's my shit? Like Watson's just blacked out in the hotel. Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then checks were being cut, and Binkley's not getting any. Chasing promoters around Vegas.
Tyler sees the incident and just says, "I'm out of here. This is fucking silly."
As he should.
Yeah.
That's a logical thing to do.
What jump was this on? How big a jump were you hitting? Was this just a regular 75-foot ramp scenario, or?
Well, back then, it was the more mellow freeride technology ramp, but we had it popped up, we popped it up like 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah.
And,
put some woo on
front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like at 85 or 90 feet.
Oh, God.
Anytime you see triple clamps fail, it's not pretty. It
is absolutely
it's not going well.
But you can do nothing.
I would load my bike up and go home.
No, but as the guy on the bike, there's literally nothing you could have done better.
No, it's not his fault at all.
No, you're just stuck waiting for the tire to hit in the face. That's all you can do.
Hoping Applied didn't short pay their fucking invoice.
Right,
whoever's
you don't even know,
heat treating their goddamn triple clamps.
But you don't even know that it happened until somebody tells you about it after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's locked in their memory somewhere.
Yeah, it happened so fast you can't react to it. It just happened, and then Yeah, somebody's saying, "Are you okay?" And you're like, "What happened?" Yeah. You tell me. Am I okay? Like, what are you talking about?
Kalispell, fucking 2018 or whatever the fuck year it was.
18, no, 08 maybe.
08, whatever. My memory's terrible. I told you.
Might have been, 10 or 11.
I think that was I think Dane Kennard was the other guy. I got hit by a motorcycle. Some guy that wasn't talented sent a motorcycle into me. Oh man! I don't know if I got knocked out or what. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know
if you weren't gone out. You were groggy, to say the least.
Yeah, it was.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's funny.
Kalispell, Montana.
Back, yeah.
At a little horse arena, doing some arena cross. Bad things happen in small spaces with motorcycles.
It's possible Mike Tyson hit me, or
cattle fence.
Yeah, sent backwards 10 feet.
Well, it was forward. I mean, you were facing that direction.
Oh, I remember looking back and seeing this thing coming at me. I have memories of that.
You were like bent over packing my gate.
Okay, well, my head turned and I looked at skid plate.
Past your ass because you're bent over packing the gate, and you got mounted by the fucking YZ250 like it was a vicious deer in the woods fucking you.
It was a fuck.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, fucking beginners, out of control, just second gear wheeling
wide
at
open
me
on a YZ250. Not over making the gate. I mean, he was like behind the starting gate.
He should have gone left. He had a left turn ahead of him, and he fucking missed it.
He hit the little single and just gave her the
wood
juice.
Yeah,
let him have it.
Poor me, bent crazy. Over, vulnerable, is just getting ass packed. Yeah.
Oh man.
Goddamn dirt bikes.
Goddamn.
They're a ton of fun. They just hurt you every now and then.
Yeah. Hurt you that day. Man.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Wow. Where are we at, Crater?
He just snapped his triple clamps off.
I mean, we're almost at 2 hours. I mean, what else do we got to talk about? Like, where are we at in the career?
If you shut your dirty hole, I could finish talking and tell you where we're at. He just snapped his triple clamps off, and he's talking about his career winding down here at the end of 01.
Tyler Evans.
Yeah. So my bike. That after that, like, it kind of every time I get on the bike, it would just kind of be like, oh man, like
frightening.
What's next? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I still rode shows and stuff until probably 06. 02, 03, I was still fairly good into it. I did a lot of demos, not a whole lot of contests.
Yeah, demos are fun. I've had a lot of,
Holman
was a big demo guy too. Yeah. It was a great time.
And it got to the point where, like, I wasn't making a whole lot of money at it. I was working more than I was riding, and I just really couldn't. With all the kids that are coming up and everybody was doing, I just really couldn't compete because basically all I did was work. My kids and needed to make sure I could provide for them and my little family. And
that's smart.
I rode shows till about 06, and then that was about it. I think my last show was like 06. Jumped up to Storm Stadium in Lake Elsinore. We jumped on the field. It was like me and Julian Dussault and Vinny Carbone. It was Vinny Carbone's first show. He ended up busting the speaker.
That dude's pretty good though, right? He's come a long way.
Dude, that guy, he's so freaking good, and he's a really good guy. He's a super nice guy. I love that guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah, I may have to hit you up and maybe have you help me get in contact with him. I think I sent him a message. I don't know if he's got back, but yeah, I'd love to have him on the show. I mean, he's got a pretty good story, I imagine.
Yeah, he's the guy in the hills now. He has all kinds of cool shit in the hills. And,
tell me what you think about the sport these days. Like, granted you haven't been riding or in it for a while, but what do you think where it's at now and where it's been through? And
well, when I got out of it, I pretty much got out of it and just really didn't pay attention to it much, I guess, for a long time. I didn't even watch Supercross or anything like that for a long time. Like, I just,
we've heard that from a lot of people. I
wanted to do it real bad.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it real bad, and I didn't watch it. And then I started getting it back into it a little bit, and up until recently, I didn't really pay attention to much of the freestyle stuff. But you know, I kind of what I like about the things about these days is like there's a lot of dudes doing like more free writing stuff, and I think that's pretty cool because that's like pretty much our roots. And
it has gotten back to that a little bit with the taping and the social stuff and whatever, especially in the COVID times when they're not holding contests like they used to, or even the money isn't there for the contest like it was in the beginning days. But yeah, it's crazy. It's kind of come full circle, I guess.
And then, the guys are just doing ridiculous tricks. It's like stuff that you would never even think were possible.
Ridiculous.
Like, there's that one dude that did like a backflip body varial, and I'm like, what the heck? That's gnarly.
Yeah.
And, so I think right now, I think the sport, to me, I like it. You know, there's a lot of good kids coming up now. Colby, he's super good kid. Got Cole from SD. He seems like he's super cool. I dig his hitting jumps on the ATCs and stuff because I grew up on ATCs.
Amen, brother. And, I love a good ATC.
No better way to break an ankle.
Me and Crater saw a guy race an ATC in it was Idaho. Lewiston, Idaho.
The Roundup grounds.
Dude, this guy was sending it and talented on this.
I wouldn't say talented. That's a very loose term at that point.
He's tripling on an ATC.
He was getting it.
He was getting it. He was going faster on the track.
I don't know if he was talented or not. He was just not scared. Man.
Yeah, it was impressive to me. I mean, whoever he was, that gentleman, hats off to you.
I had a video of it on a phone for a long time, but
you don't have any more? What year was that? That was a long time ago.
Dude, this was like 05 or 06 probably.
Okay, yeah. It's something I'll never forget though. I have that memory. I was impressed.
He was there every year for a long time.
I loved a good ATC growing up.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not mad at it. Yeah. Honda 250.
Nice. Yeah, 250
extended swing ATC, arms. Well, we were rocking those around the block back in the day. Center sideways. Yeah.
My uncle still got a pretty sweet 250R with the extended swing arm. It's pretty rad.
Oh, man. I love your uncle. Ooh. Yeah, that sounds so fun to me right now.
Fun. That's a different idea of fun than I got going.
Just ripping around. It's 2020. Just riding them on the streets like it's pandemonium downtown Seattle. Just fired up, running around the protesters. Sketchy. We have different ideas of fun, me and Crater. Yeah. Nice. So, like I said, we are pretty much at the 2-hour mark. What do you want to? Do we have anything that we missed? Did we not finish?
You got out in 01 toward the end there. It sounds like, and then what?
Yeah.
I mean, what have you been doing for the last? I mean, that's 19 years ago.
Concrete. He said.
That's it.
Or did he not say that?
Yeah.
No, I mean, he kind of
did. I grew up. My dad, he always. He had his own company doing. It's called stacking and patching. It's we repair concrete, make like concrete tilt ups, look good for paint, stuff like that.
Nice.
Okay.
So I've been going to work with him since I was like 2 years old. So I learned that trade, and when I needed work to make money, that's what I did. So I kept at it, and me and him, we worked together for a long time up until about 2010.
That's cool.
And then, like I said, 01 was probably like the peak of my career almost. And then I still kept doing stuff. Like I was still getting bikes and stuff like that, and doing a bunch of demos like through like 02, 03, 04. I started to really, really wind down. Like basically like my last show in 06 was like I didn't ride for like 6 months. And they're like, "Hey, you want to come do this show?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." And
been riding every day. I'm ready.
Yeah,
feel good.
Go out and hit ramp to ramp, and
oh god, sketchy. Ramp to ramp, sketchy.
Yeah, but yeah, that was about it. 06 was like my last show, and
so from 06 to whatever 20, I feel like maybe. Has the yard always been a place people have ridden, even if you're not riding? I know it's had like a resurgence. I feel, yeah.
No, once I kind of got out of it, I kind of shut it down. Like,
makes sense.
I had one neighbor. Yeah, I had one neighbor that was kind of a pain. She was a real big pain.
Conti?
And, dude, her husband was really cool, and me and him got along, but he didn't really care. It was more of her caring for whatever reason, but he did.
Until he started cheating on her, being mad at everybody.
He worked at night. He was a security guard, worked at night, so she was complaining we were keeping him up all day. You know what I mean?
Oh, and but it was her complaining
about that or whatnot. But
yeah,
he never complained to me about it. It was just always her. So I don't know if she's just pissed off.
Yeah, that's odd. I'll say.
Yeah, and then just different things, and I just kind of shut it down. You know, I wasn't riding much, so I didn't really have anybody up.
Yeah,
so.
And there is liability. I mean, you don't want just random. But like I said, I feel like lately we have had a resurgence of Manny's Yard. I feel like I've been seeing a lot more media and posts and people riding there. Like Colby Raw is a pretty big name these days, and he's been coming up to your house killing it. Scummy, sober, killing it at your house. Seth Rowe, I think, was up there jumping not too long ago. Sorry, I keep interrupting. I do that.
Good at.
Yeah, about last winter, probably last January or February, whatnot. The company I work for, Qualtech, they rent area up at the yard to store their equipment and stuff, nice. And we had a skip loader up there, and a few years back, my dad he started taking down the takeoff for the big jump, so there was still part of it there, but so I started stacking it back up, just for the fuck of it. I was just bored, and I started stacking it up, and
because there was a piece of equipment there to
stored.
Drive
around, Hours seem to keep going up, but it's just stored at our property.
And so I sent a picture to Colin, and Colin was like, "Dude, I'm calling you right now." So he called me up, and he's like, "Dude, you don't let anybody hit that thing. You got to let Colby hit it." And I'm like, "What?" I didn't really know who Colby was at that point. I'm like, "Who?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, you got to let my guy Colby come up and hit it."
Yeah.
And so then he gives my number to Colby, and then Colby hit me up, and we started talking and kind of planning a couple things out, and he was like, "Well, let me get a loader up, and let's get this place rebuilt." And I was like, "All right, right on." And he freaking made it happen. He rented a loader, and he got our good friend Sean Taylor up there. He helped stack up, or he did most of the tractor work, stacked everything up, and we got everything dialed in. And then we taped for his Real Moto and did his Real Moto deal. And
yeah, shout out to Jay Swisher.
Yeah, Jay, Jogger Jay. And then after that was when Colin and Colby came up and they did their jump, because Colin, he hadn't hit it in like freaking probably 15 years
and never sober.
And,
so,
yeah,
I mean,
he always had the 3-footer in the truck, and taking bongies and shirtless,
popping pills. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know Colin owned a shirt for a long time.
Oh, no doubt.
Southern California, bro.
Right?
Come on. It's beach weather.
Not at Manly's house in the mountains in the wintertime.
All right.
It got cold up there.
I said Southern California.
It is.
IE, yo.
It's between Temecula and Hemet.
Oh, all right.
It's the IE.
IE has elevation?
There's a little mountain range there.
Inland Empire.
Yeah, it's
the 909.
I think we're 3,000 feet or something like that.
Yeah. There's also, you could be in the high desert. That's not really Southern California, but
yeah, it's the high des.
It's the high des.
They get weather.
They do. They get cold at night.
I have seen it in Southern California. I have seen weather. Shocking. They're not prepared for it, but they get it. Fucking it rains. There's like 2 feet of fucking water on the street. You're like, where's this shit going?
Right.
We're not really ready for it.
Big rain gutters, though, a lot of the new construction.
Yeah.
They're prepared for flash flooding to some degree.
That'll kill a fucking road bike if you fall into one of those.
I can only imagine. Yeah. It'd be a bad day.
Well, too bad you guys couldn't send some of that rain down here. We need it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we got it right now.
Yeah,
it ain't dry here. That's not a problem up here right now.
We possibly talked about golf in between the podcast today, and it's
even
pissing rain.
Oh man.
Yeah.
There was not even close to an option for that, and I don't mind getting a little wet if I'm going to golf, but that was silly.
Yeah, I do love me some golf, but it wasn't happening today. But it is what it is. We got some food, and we got to talk to you, and it was super fun, dude. I had a good time on this interview, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I can't believe I've never been to the yard or met you. Just the people I knew and the amount of time I've been in Southern California.
Well, and that's funny because it was never even an option that I ever even heard about while I was down there.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I was racing more than anything else, but I hung out with Manly and Scummy and and Twitch a little bit and
the early years too.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
Yeah,
it I mean, I rode in the hills with those guys and rode other places, and we went to Twitch's house and rode right out of his garage into wherever the hell we rode, and yeah, Manny's was never even brought up.
Nice.
We know him now. If we ever end up in the Southern California, we will.
I don't think I'm going 200 feet now.
We'll look you up. Yeah, you will.
Nah.
Yeah, come on down.
You got a 4-stroke, bro.
I got a fun ramp in the back of the hill. That's what I've been hitting lately because I haven't really ridden much in the last 10 years or so. So this year, that's one thing I appreciate Colby for is when we got the jumps done, he bring me up his brand new Husqvarna 252 stroke, and he's like, "Here, you're gonna ride."
Oh, that's right. What? Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna ride a what?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I gotta find gear. Hold on.
Exactly. Some that fits.
Yeah. Well, he did. He hooked me up with a little bit of gear. I had some of my old gear, but then he had to hook me up with a few things. But yeah, he got me dialed in to where I could ride.
Awesome.
I've probably ridden more this year than I have in a long time. So
I have a question that we didn't ask. Did you ever have gear sponsors or helmet sponsors? What kind of gear did you run back in the day? I was gear.
Yeah. So when my first gear sponsor was Thor, so I had Thor. I rode Thor full head to toe, except for. With the Thor deal, I got Alpine Stars, so I rode for Thor and Alpine Stars.
Okay.
Dragon Optical, they sponsored me for goggles and glasses my whole career.
Nice.
When I quit, I don't know, but I forgot what happened with Thor, but I ended up riding for Answer after that. So I rode for Answer for a while. They were pretty cool.
Speaking of answers, I like your answers. I'm surprised it's not like Utopia, SMP, and LBC.
Right.
I mean, realistically, I like your answers. Those were, good company. You had normal gear.
Yeah. When I rode for Answer, they actually just, they made those baggy pants with the zip off shorts or whatever. They zipped down the shorts.
I had SMP.
Yeah. And then, and through them, I had Garnet boots, and then for a minute.
Did you like the Garnets?
Yeah, you know what? I did. I really like those Garnets. They're pretty dang good. Those were pretty. They were really comfortable, and they were. I don't know how to say it. They're some of the other boots. The Alpine Stars were really good too.
Yeah, I was always an Alpine Star.
They're really. The Garnets, they seemed real light. They're still supportive, but they were more low profile, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but they were really comfortable and easy to ride in. They're really good. They almost felt broken in, when I put them on.
These you talking riding with them, like an SG10 maybe or something that long ago? I'm trying to think of that.
I can't remember what they were. I think they were. This is back in 03, 04.
Yeah. This is before the 12s that we have currently today.
Do you run Garnets?
Yeah, so
I did I had Garnets a couple times. They had a stiff sole, which I wasn't a huge fan of how stiff it was, but it would have been a good Supercross boot or freestyle boot because they didn't bend like some of these boots are super soft soled, but like the Alpine Stars.
Yeah.
I can only imagine your feet would bend around the pegs if you landed hard. Where the Garnet I feel was more solid.
More ankle support?
No, literally the steel shank and the sole was stiffer. Yeah.
Interesting. I've never worn Garnets.
Yeah. No, they were a good boot. I enjoyed my Garnets, yeah.
What helmets were you rocking back then?
I when I rode for Thor, I wore Thor ones for most of the time, but then at the end of the year with Thor, I actually ended up getting a deal put together with Fly Racing. They hooked me up with helmets for a little bit, not too long.
Tim Ferry did the Thor gear with the Fly helmet deal.
Oh yeah.
And then when I rode for Answer, I used the Answer helmet. So I was fully Answer head to toe. Besides the boots were Garnet. After that, I did ride. After I rode for Answer, I rode for S&P.
Nice. I loved S&P.
I wore S&P gear with just basically my Garnets because it was my end of my career, and I was just kind of getting what I can get.
Yep. And, boots were always the hardest thing to get as a sponsor for me, anyway. Boots were impossible. It was weird. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? After the Garnets, I did ride for. I don't know. I don't think they're around anymore, and that's the boots I actually wear today. Is Oxstar.
Nike.
Yeah, well, Oxstar is TCX now. So Oxstar got sued by Alpine Star for copyright infringement of the name. Yeah, for the Oxstar logo because it said Star. So Alpine Star went after them.
They're like, close enough, motherfucker.
Oh, wow.
And so they changed their name to TCX and imported them again under the TCX name. And they have a new boot, TCX. Nick Way wore them toward the end of his career there. But they have like a Michelin sole on them or something funny. I have a couple pair in my garage. I got them at the end of my career. Good boot. Good boot, actually.
Good boot.
It's similar to probably the Alpine Star, like the Tech 10 or whatever. It's real plastic.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Yep.
You know what?
They had the insole that came out.
Yeah, they eliminated that in the new one.
The booty?
Those. Yeah, the booty.
I love the booty. I was a fan of the booty.
The new ones don't have the booty in them, I don't think.
That's saddening. I have a question that I was thinking of earlier that just popped back into my head. Were you ever like part of the militia? I know you were right in that genre and area and everything, and hung out with a lot of the guys. Like, I mean, did you ever get the official, beat in?
Did you get the tattoo?
Yeah.
No,
You never jumped in.
At one point, I was like, I kind of, because I did. I helped a lot of those guys out.
Yeah.
Even like Deegan. Deegan, I built the first jump that he landed a backflip on, and but guess how much metal militia shit I ever got? 0.
Yeah.
And
thanks so.
And there's a lot of militia money floating around.
Boy.
So I mean,
yeah. So I got 0 really for the jump that Deegan did. I think he paid me like $200, but I spent like the whole day factoring and building him a fucking custom jump.
Yeah, like that paid for the pizza at lunch.
I used my own.
Didn't pay for
I have a.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pay for. Yeah,
paid for the pizza, not the diesel.
Crazy. So as much as I like those guys, and I did. To be honest with you, I did kind of.
Yeah.
I would have loved to ride for them, but from what I heard, they said I was too nice. So I guess I didn't.
He didn't fit the bill.
That's the dumbest thing, though. Yeah, exactly.
Holman doesn't fit the bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
And
then they all found Jesus anyway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. That's the dumbest excuse I've ever heard.
That's funny.
Ugh.
That's funny.
Yeah,
nice.
So,
as you should be.
Yeah,
early on, this is when they probably still were wearing big elbow or big shoulder spikes and shit. So.
Yeah, this was back in their heyday. It was when I was hanging out with them and helping them out and stuff like that. I even when Deegan when he moved like next to Link, I built me and Jeff from Freeride Technology. We built this foam pit and stuff like that. I worked on Deegan's dozer, and it's funny because I just seen like this maybe like a year or 2 ago or something like that. I haven't seen that guy in a long time, and I was at the local shop right here, and I had my nephew and his friend with me, and I was like, "Oh, cool! I can introduce these guys to fucking Deegan." Because I don't think my nephew had ever met him because he's pretty young. So So I go up to him and I say, hey, what's up, Brian? How's it going? And he like gets all fucking cool guy, and he's like,
what?
What's up, dude? Yeah, he didn't even remember who I was. He's like, yeah.
That honestly doesn't surprise me a bit about Deegan. I don't know. I've only met the guy one time. He was a cool guy then. And I was there at his house with his buddies. Like, yeah, still cool guy, man. I feel like.
Well, I went from like I would go over and work on his tractors and shit like that, and I would see him at restaurants, and he'd, like one time we were in like me and my wife, we went to go eat at like Black Angus or something. He was there, and he actually
Black Anus, I love it.
Yeah, and he said hello then, but then this is years later now when I see him at the shop, and I was like, hey, what are you up to? And he's like, dude, I'm getting parts for my dirt bike because dirt bikes are fun. And I'm just like going,
was he just fucking around or was he serious? Like,
I think that's probably what he does to the general public, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like Holman could be a dick sometimes too. He's just fucking stupid, like fucking around.
Well,
really,
sure,
like
but he wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like he'd do that to me if I just randomly saw him after.
I mean, my memory's terrible, and I feel like, how he rode at this guy's house. Like,
you meet enough people and you forget people. I suppose.
I guess.
I don't know, but kind of shitty.
Yeah, super shitty.
Yeah,
shitty,
well,
like fucking Tommy Clowers. Hey, where's the sign up? Fuck you, dick. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Go do a step up.
We should have Tommy on too.
I'd love to. I'm trying to get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know where that guy's at anymore. I haven't seen that guy in years.
Right.
He's looking for sign up, hopefully.
Still looking for sign up.
Somewhere in his life looking for sign up.
Poor Tommy.
It all comes back.
Poor Tomcat.
Put out what you want to project, right?
That's right.
Be a nice guy. Be a decent guy. Come on, kids.
That's funny.
For sure.
Man, well, yeah, like I say, we're on time, so it was super fun. I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate your time. I'm glad we could work something out, and yeah, it was, like I said, I didn't know a ton about you, even though I spent a lot of time in that genre and yada yada. But yeah, I like to learn some of these people I didn't get to know back then and see what's going on nowadays and where it's all come to.
Well, yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is like you hear about Manny's yard.
Yeah,
Manny's
it's an epic
Manny's
place.
This, Manny's that, and it's like,
I'm sad I haven't been. Like I said,
well, hey, I'm disappointed.
I feel like a tour. I want to go on a tour. Like I want to.
But at the same time, yeah, it's nice to know who Manny is a little better than just kind of randomly knowing about Manny's place.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate you guys reaching out and having me on. And shoot, there's probably a million more stories I could probably tell, but there's,
hey, we can get you back on.
Yeah, we can do another one for sure.
We can do another one. We could probably fill up more time.
We're not afraid of that.
Yeah, it's fun to go over the stories and
we love it.
Talk about it.
It's all about.
It was a crazy time, and you were down in the heart of it. Yeah,
Mecca.
I'm sure. I mean, the party stories we didn't get into. I unfortunately fell into a lot of 10 or 12 drug years that were pretty not the best.
That's it.
But yeah,
I thought there was a lot more than 10 or 12 of them.
Well, I mean, realistic, like 10 or 12 hard years that were
all right.
Not great. But yeah, I know you said you drank some, but yeah, that was another thing we could talk about. The parties, the stories. It was crazy in Southern California.
But yeah, if you ever want to do it again, if you got some ideas you want to talk about, we'd be totally open to doing it again. So let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll have to think of some stuff or whatnot. Or if you guys think of any other questions you want to ask me or whatever, I'd be happy to come on again.
I try to write stuff down all the time.
Jeff, I've never done anything like this. This is like my first podcast or whatnot. So I really didn't know what to expect. And it's hard because there's so much stuff to talk about.
For sure. It was fun though, right? We did all right. We didn't work too hard on you.
Fun.
Took Manny's podcast virginity.
Yeah. Johnny Deep.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah. No, we appreciate you, buddy.
No, thanks for coming on. This was good. I enjoyed it.
We'll be in touch. Speaking of, did you want to thank anybody? Do you want to shout out your Instagram, your Facebook, your
company
whatever
you work for, or whatever it is? Yeah, anybody.
First of all, I want to thank my wife and my kids. My
wife's a
hard,
soldier. How many years have you been with your wife?
Yeah. She's since 99, 98, 99.
There you go, 21,
so,
22 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
long time.
It's a long time.
My girls, Taylor, Jasmine, Lily, I love them. My mom, Mindy. Yeah, I ended up with 3 girls.
Woo!
Yeah, buddy.
Man, my wife's one of 3 girls. I've met her father. I see what it's done to him. Good luck. Good luck, sir. Good luck.
Yeah, my oldest, she just actually moved out. She's got her own apartment. She's going to school, got a job. So
she's 19 then?
I'm proud of her. Yeah, she's 19. I'm super proud of her.
That's awesome, man.
My youngest, Lily, she's an art. She likes doing art, so she just designed some shirts that she wants us to make for the yard or whatnot. And then
I did see
my
that.
Middle one, Jasmine.
Shout out her. I saw the artwork. Are you selling those shirts, or are you just working on getting some merch going? Yeah,
we're just kind of, I didn't know if anybody would be into it or whatnot, like it, so we just kind of throwing out the idea, but a lot of people are like, hey, I want one. So we're thinking about doing a run of,
you should,
a few different shirts.
Yeah.
So, hopefully that'll be soon.
Seth was just doing the
Fresno Smooth thing.
Shirts, and I mean, this stuff's
you never know what people are going to want, and nowadays it's not that hard to figure out how to put it out. So it's like, just
that's
do
awesome,
it and
man.
get that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I'd like to think, I really don't have any sponsors anymore. Back in the day, there's one guy that really helped me out too, Mike Finley. He actually owned Temecula Motorsports.
Nice.
He's down in
I've spent some money there.
BMW Escondido motorcycles. That guy was really good to me. Brian Pinard, he is like when I wanted to do Supercross, he was supposed to be my mechanic, but he helps me out with mechanic stuff here and there that I can't handle.
For sure.
My mom, for sure. My mom for putting up all my stuff.
Amen, mother.
My sister. All my family. I love all my family.
Your sister was your first sponsor, getting you
right.
Yeah,
she's getting you on the credit on that.
That's right.
Help a brother out program.
Yeah, for sure. And then I appreciate Colin for lining me up with Colby. Colby Rawhar. He's been helping me out a bunch lately. Riding.
Yep.
Yeah, got the tractor out there. Built it up.
Don't call it a comeback.
Yeah, and then he just recently took me out to Ritchie Canyon. Out of all the years, I've never been to Ritchie Canyon, and he finally took me out there for my first time.
That's funny to me.
A few weeks ago.
Even I've been to Ritchie.
Yeah.
I feel like Metzger was just out there recently. Were you on that trip, or was that a different weekend?
That's it.
Oh, yeah. The no-namers or whatever, the big guy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went out there with all them.
That's what Vinny Carbone is doing too, the no-namers thing, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was out there. Yeah, that was super fun.
I'll bet. What'd you think of Ritchie Canyon?
Oh, I loved it. It actually reminded me of old Cottonwood. I didn't really think there was much places like that left because all the development and everything around here in Southern California, everything's kind of dried up.
And it's not that far away from you, right? Like,
no, not at all. I didn't even it's in a total different spot than I thought it was going to be in. So
you still
I never knew where it was.
There's you pull in right behind like a business, I feel like, and drive back, right?
We were lucky enough to go to somebody's house and right from their house.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah, we got lucky.
Yeah, we just rolled right into some grassy field
behind the factory program,
some grocery store or something and rode in, but yeah, factory program for you guys.
I like it.
Nice. And then my bosses, John and Brad, and Mike Wildy, Mike Wildy's brother, Bob, and his son Bobby Jr. They always took me out riding and let me ride their bikes when I was a kid. My buddy Sean Kerr let me ride his bikes too, growing up, and when I didn't have one. And there's probably a lot of people and stuff I'm gonna leave out, but here's my last one right here. Is Sun State Equipment. Zach at Sun State Equipment. He's been helping us out with good deals on loaders. we actually we might actually have one coming out next week to kind of freshen some stuff up and build some new stuff and get ready for the winter.
Nice.
I love
hopefully,
it. What was that guy's name again? Shout out to that guy. Yeah.
Sun State Equipment.
If you're in the Southern California area, go to Sun State for your all equipment needs.
I think they're nationwide.
Nationwide. They're even better.
All right.
Even better.
So they're pretty good.
Look them up. People.
Yeah.
They're helping out the people that.
Yeah,
Zach.
So
Zach Daddy.
Zach at Sun State.
Nice.
So yeah, hopefully a lot of good stuff this winter.
Farm?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff this winter. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping on. As long as we don't get locked down too bad.
Yeah, Jesus. Good luck with that. California's just as terrible as Seattle. So.
I know.
Ugh. Anyways.
Sneak out.
Yeah. What can you do? Well, good luck with holding Thanksgiving or Christmas. I mean, I know we don't celebrate it up here. Apparently, the governor's locked us down. Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, man. We enjoyed that. That was an awesome podcast.
It was fun. Appreciate it.
Definitely enjoyed you coming on and learned a lot. So
yeah.
Have a good holiday season there. Here the best you can, I suppose. And if you want to do it again, we'll do it again
for sure.
Likewise. Yeah. I hope you guys have good holidays too. And if you guys think of anything you guys want to ask or anything like that, and then I'll try and think of some stuff too. And
it was fun. We'll do something soon. Yeah,
Hell
for sure.
Man. Yeah. Thanks again, man.
Right on, man. You guys have a good night.
Cool, buddy. You too.
Thank you.
See
you.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, that might be a new.
No, we're not setting record. No
record. All right.
No records.
No,
but it was a good talk.
I feel like Holman's was long too, but.
Yeah.
We've found a couple long ones. Hopefully,
hey, you know what? The quality on that one was fucking amazing.
Much better than
when you talk about Aussies.
Yeah,
Australia.
Well, sorry about that. The Bush has some service issues.
Yeah.
We got some feedback.
Even Matt Cole was.
It was just windy. I feel like when he did it, but
I in the thing it says.
Oh, you let them know before they click on it.
Yeah, 100%. I let him know that he was landing planes at the B&E.
Right.
Sounded like he was on the tarmac.
But thanks for listening again, guys. This was a fun one for me. I didn't know a whole lot about Manny.
It was a good talk.
But again, we've heard so much about the place and knew the place from all these.
Yeah, I know. Cape spent time there.
Epic
I know
things that have happened there.
I've known so much. I know. I've known so much about the guy and whatever. It's one of those weird things where you feel like you know him and you know somebody, but I've never really met him or talked to him. So,
right.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Well, I mean, for all I know, maybe I did meet him. But
yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Just didn't know who he was.
It's possible I met him too, but yeah. Southern California in the 2000s.
Right.
Crazy place, bro. Crazy place.
But thanks for listening, guys.
We appreciate it.
Gals, maybe.
Hope you enjoy it.
We never really said that before.
Oh, Jesus.
There might be women listening.
Stop it.
No. All right.
Making me blush.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later,
we'll do
people.
it again.
See you.